Hello, and welcome to a video I'm extremely excited to release, a new Sleeping Dogs world record with full post-commentary. This is by far the longest commentary I've attempted, but there's a lot that goes extremely right and extremely wrong in this run. As per usual, I won't talk over unskippable cutscenes, and I'll try my best to not talk over major dialogue. I'll also be using text in the top left to indicate parts that either don't have meaningful gameplay, or parts where I simply don't have anything to say. Now let's not waste any more time and get right into the run.
OK，各單位準備，同我睇實佢。
你捉個 Wei Shen 先好啊。
He's early.
I'm not fucking blind.
Relax, old boy. We're on the same side, remember?
條友都幾串喎。喂，有冇貨？
Yeah, you got the money?
喂，前方右邊
咩啊？
有個碼頭警衛，佢由後面上緊嚟啊！
揾人截住佢啦！
冇可能，我哋呢度太遠啦，路。
細路唔好亂嚟啊！
Look, I can get you 3-4 keys a week if you want.
睇下點？
What? My shit's not good enough for you?
喂，究竟發生咩事啊？
咩啊？邊撚個啊你？
停手，咪喐！
Come, my friend. Just
Are you crazy? No, don't.
Maybe we can sort something out, huh?
你兇我啊！你知唔知我係邊個啊？
所有夥計唔好俾佢走甩啊！截住佢！
好傷害我啊 ！Fucking hell! Don't do it, man! Don't do it!
喺我面前，冇亂嚟啊
Let's go! Let's go!
So I'm going to start out by explaining everything that's on the right-hand side, because it can be a bit confusing both to new viewers and to people who have seen my other Sleeping Dogs World Record video. Because there's two timers, there's a whole bunch of numbers, and it may look a little confusing. To anyone new to speedrunning, I'll explain everything here really quickly. At the top, Sleeping Dogs Any % Definitive Edition. Any % just means beat the game as fast as possible, no cheats. And all the names you're seeing there are different missions that go throughout the game, and to the right-hand side are how fast I've beaten them. And we're comparing to my previous world record run. Now as for the two timers at the bottom, the top one I made basically a load remover for Sleeping Dogs, which tells the program on the right-hand side, hey, game's loading, pause the timer. And then when it's not loading, unpause the timer. This allows for shorter times that aren't affected by, slower computers. So that means if you have a really weak computer, then you can run this game and be on the same level as me almost. And the time on the bottom is just real time, which is, I just keep it there mainly for leaderboard clarity, and because my previous personal best time was run in real time, so I wanted to make sure that I beat it in both real time and then set a loadless time.
Still getting used to being back, huh?
In the very top right, I don't know how well this is going to render, but you might see a 6/104. That means I've completed the game in a speedrun setting 6 times, and this is my 104th attempt. And to people returning from other videos, you're going to notice the graph at the bottom is gone, and instead it shows a controller. Now I have to explain this controller as well, because it's not going to be all my inputs. Throughout the run, I do switch between controller and mouse and keyboard. For all combat, well, for all melee combat, for driving, walking, all of that fun stuff, I use a controller. For very specific, what do you call them? Mini games, I suppose. The little mission things where you have to like hack something or lockpick something, I sometimes use a keyboard depending on if it's faster. I also use a keyboard for shooting, just because it's a lot more comfortable for me, just like how driving is more comfortable on a controller. With that out of the way, now I have to explain what I'm doing here. And I can't believe I'm going to do this all in one run. So basically, the first trick you're seeing here, they're called regrabs. It's basically, you take an enemy, grapple, slam their head into waist-high cover, and then immediately mash the grapple button again to re-grab them, and then just slam their head into the table again. This is the fastest way to take out most enemies in the beginning of the game, besides environmental kills, which you're going to see in a minute. Later on, we're going to have a move that's just effectively jump behind the enemy, get an insta-kill, no matter what. It's very broken and very fun for speedrunning. You're going to see I mess up the regrabs a little bit there. It's alright. Because what I was thinking at the time, I wasn't even taking this as a serious run. This was just me doing a full run to test if the load remover worked completely properly, because this was untested for a while. And for the record, I'm not doing this in one consecutive take. There's no way I could possibly talk for as much as I need to talk for this long. And for this section, there's no real time saves, it's just messing around for about a minute. So I show off how a flying kick can not only lock onto an enemy, but power through attacks so that they don't stun you. This is really useful in just saving time in combat overall, especially beginning game where you just don't have any real fast way of dispatching enemies most of the time. Though a lot of times you just have to get creative. Most people don't even know that you can do a vault kick, or throw a weapon, or that a ninja kill is a thing you can do. I didn't even know that you could roll until I started speedrunning this game, because it doesn't like to explain a lot of things.
Hello, boy.
Oh no, it's Dog Eyes, and we are 3 seconds behind.
Hey, this will be easy. No problem. You just have to be strong. That's what people respect.
Strength, that's what they respect. Also, guns, and the ability to beat people up, take on a small army because you are Wei Shen. So you're gonna notice I actually don't get slowed down on these steps. It's because there's a 1 second time save you can do by walking at an angle steeper than 45 degrees upstairs. And that means that Wei doesn't do the walking upstairs animation, and instead just sort of glides up them. It saves almost no time, but it's useful for getting ahead of Jackie, because there's a small chance that if you get in Jackie's way, he will push you, and that'll cause a really annoying animation to happen, and you'll lose time to that.
That means more than a boss, you know? Joey Kwan sells pirate DVDs. Let's start with him.
Joey Kwan, my man.
We work for Winston.
I understand. How can I help?
Winston runs this place, and if you don't want trouble, you pay him. Period.
Of course, no problem. Need anything?
So now you're going to see another little movement trick. I call it a hover kick. And that's mainly just when you do a flying kick off of any kind of elevated surface. What it'll do is it'll cause Wei to move a bit faster than what he would normally move, just on foot. And you can roll out of it too, just to keep momentum going, which is really useful.
Be a tough guy.
Here we get a nice environmental kill. Phone booths are a bit long of an animation. We're going to be going for shorter things that you'll see in a minute. I really don't give a shit about Dog Eyes' happiness, really. I just want the... I love how stupid some of the animations in this game get sometimes. Alright, that's a ninja kill. We do a head slam there. And do a vault kill there. Or a vault kick, if you want to call it. Here, Jackie gets really annoying and just completely messes up my rhythm in combat there. So I have to just drag him over to an environmental.
We work for Winston. We need to discuss business.
Winston? I don't have any business with Winston.
Everyone has business with Winston. You're gonna pay up, you understand?
Okay, I can respect that.
Way with a charisma of 10 there, because I don't know how he would have convinced that shopkeep to give him the money otherwise. Vault over that. And this section is really unique in how you can approach it, because there's a lot of potential for vault kills, and there's a lot of environmentals. Jackie can sometimes distract him. This can be done really fast or really slow, just depending on how the AI reacts. And it's a lot of what makes running this game interesting, because you never know what's going to happen in combat. You can never predict it. There's a lot of different ways to dispatch an enemy once you know all the moves.
Demanding 20 times the normal payment. Maybe he has a drug habit or something.
For a small fee, Winston will make sure you don't have trouble with gangsters.
That sounds very reasonable.
Just remember, kids, gangsters solve gangsters. That doesn't lead to turf wars at all. No.
You look like you could use a pork bun.
Do a little vault warp there. Basically, I press the cover button and then just vault over the waist-high cover. And what that does is it moves you forward just a little bit further than just vaulting over it normally, and you conserve speed a bit more. I don't know how much time it saves. I don't even know if it saves time or frames or anything. But it's just a thing that a lot of high-level runners do. And now we close out Vendor Extortion with 0.7 seconds to spare.
Can you do me a favor?
Probably, yeah. What is it?
Mrs. Chu sent over some lunch, but I haven't paid yet. Can you take this back to the restaurant?
All right.
You might want to hurry. I heard Dog Guys is sending reinforcements. You should probably be...
How did you hear that Dog Eyes was sending reinforcements? Where did you hear this? That's also a really weird way of wording that. It's like, wouldn't it have been easier to say, like, oh, also I saw some of Dog Eyes' men here earlier, you might want to watch out, instead of, he's sending reinforcements, like you're some kind of commander to weigh. But anyway, now you're going to see a few more environmental kills here, and me just completely butcher combat here. What you're supposed to do is go for all 3 environmentals, 2 speakers, and 1 dragon kick machine over here, and then do 3 light hits into a heavy hit to possibly hit multiple enemies, and that's the fastest way of dealing with everything here. But for some reason, I just couldn't pull it off. Just Wade decided sometimes, nah, I'm not gonna hit all of the enemies at once, and sometimes it would just be an enemy canceling an animation by attacking me. And just really unlucky grabs and timing, and just... I wasn't even trying to go for world record when I was doing this. This was straight up just a test run. So I wasn't too concerned about being fast. It was more just, alright, get through the game, who cares?
This is for Susan's lunch.
Thanks.
We are now 17 seconds behind. A wonderful start, really. And what you're going to notice a lot throughout this run is just a lot of mistakes and a lot of randomly large amounts of time saved for seemingly no reason. Compared to my old world record, there are a few obvious time saves, like the funeral, the drug bust, Water Street. You'll see in the splits later on. But for now, just skip everything. Just don't open your phone. Don't talk to Joey Kwan. We don't need to talk to him anymore.
Make it up for me tonight, and we got a deal.
Huh? 我真係要咁做?
Ming, I got a message for you.
Stop!
Mainly because Ming is right there. We don't need anyone's directions for that. Now you can go left and go up the stairs to avoid this weird slow-mo and climbing, but I haven't found it to actually be faster. It just feels faster, but in timing it doesn't make a difference. You're gonna notice Ming kind of hits Olympian levels of speed at times if you get close enough. That's because this game has some really aggressive rubber banding at times. Like, I've seen armored vans hit Mach 1 just because you got too close to it. Which I think you'll actually get to see that later on. So look forward to that. Now I do a really tricky little maneuver here just to avoid that guy. It's sticking to the left and then sort of angling yourself to the right once he throws the guy at you. I punch the butcher, get the cleaver, miss the cleaver, grab the cleaver, and now we come to the dump jump. And I hate the dump jump. I will give like serious props to anyone who can figure out a consistent way of getting this trick to work. It's basically just angling yourself on the corner of this dumpster and then trying to jump up on the lid of it to get up onto where Ming is standing. I get it kind of fast here, and then get the shampoo stutter, as I like to call it. But it's slow, and I can never find a consistent way of doing that. But for this, just drop the cleaver, grab this guy, and slam his head into here, because he's the one enemy that will not follow you if you just start chucking people off here, which I do, because it's the fastest way to take him out. I specifically do the whole huge throw animation to the first one because it doesn't matter if he dies or not. He's always going to come back. I forget if I just get fed up with throwing people off and I just start hitting them. No, I mix it up, I guess. Grab the cleaver, 2 heavy hits, a throw, and a 4-hit combo. What you're going to notice all the way to the right over there, by the way, is one timer is green, one is red. And I'll explain that right now. The larger time that's green, which I mean both are green now, but the larger time, it's always going to be green because it's not comparing to anything.
Like this cocky little fucker. You need to be more careful, Wei. Much more careful.
And as you can see, Wei's stress is building. That's good storytelling, whatever. And the reason the bottom timer changes color from green to red is because it's actually comparing to my world record, along with all the numbers you see up there. The top time is just for visual proof that, hey, I have a load remover working, and this is the time that the load remover gives. Now don't get your bike out of the parking garage, it's trash. Let's just keep stealing this moped over and over. We're going to do this a lot in the run. Stick up and delivery. That's always a fun beginner split. It's one that I would always suggest practicing if you're interested in running this game. Now, as you're going to notice, over time, the 2 timers are going to start drifting apart. It's very subtle now, but if you were to fast forward to the end of the video, it's going to be completely off. And that's amazing just how much time it saves just by, removing load times. And it's nothing for me because I use an SSD. For someone who has a slower computer, that's going to be a huge difference to them. It's part of why I wanted to make it so that the game's a lot more accessible to everyone. I forget if I mess up this combat section or not. Basically, you have to grapple the 2 brawlers and then use the car in various environmentals. Like door slam, throw them in the trunk, all of that fun stuff. And why do people fall down in this game? Oh, God. Throw him into a cardboard box. The deadliest of all weapons, cardboard. And usually you can just do a 4-hit combo into grapple, then light hits, for one of the fastest known ways to just take out a weak enemy in the beginning. For this we just grapple, go over to this environmental. Done. Focus on the crowbar guy because if we get him down, that means we can take out everyone else faster. However, I kind of messed that up slightly. I could have gotten a free kill with the crowbar by just meleeing with it, but instead I decided to throw it, and then just use environmentals on all these guys, except for the last one. I think that was just me not thinking on my part, because you have to think of all this on the fly. Again, a really interesting way of how combat's kind of dynamic in how you route it in this game. There's no one set way of doing everything. There's outlines, but everything can always go differently. And now for this, you're supposed to chase them all around the city, be like, oh, I've got to catch the cargo van. No, I'm just going to ram him head on.
We did it, man. We did it. Hang on, I'll go get the watches.
And just send him on his door. Again, that's like, if you're interested in running the game, that's the main trick that you want to practice. You want to get good at that one. It's considered a run killer. And now I have to explain how heat level works. Heat level is basically how strong are the cops going after you. And I don't end up taking the cop out immediately because I have to stall the timer. Basically, if you just got heat level 1 and then you took down all nearby cops within 8 seconds, another one would spawn because at heat level 1, you have to wait 10 seconds before you're able to be able to escape the cops. 20 seconds for level 2, 30 seconds for level 3, all that fun stuff. You can see the pattern. Now you can see we saved a little bit of time. We're only 22 seconds behind. And trust me, these times are gonna get just strange. This is... this run makes me sick in a weird way. I'm not proud of it, but I just want it out there because even I can't believe this run exists. So again, steal the moped because it's basically Way's moped. It's always outside there. Someone's always working on it for him. Now, we're going to drift with a bus because, for some reason, that's the fastest way of dealing with this bus. It's a huge, unwieldy thing. Yeah, just drift.
I'll take this one.
Good job.
Yeah, kick his ass.
And here's actually where it's a useful thing to go look at the controller in the bottom right, because you can see what I'm doing. I hold gas, I hold B, and then I, wiggle the stick left and right. And this just, for some reason, makes the bus almost invincible to collision, and just cranks it up to max acceleration almost instantly. I don't know why. I really don't. If someone would like to get in touch with one of the developers for this game, and have them at gunpoint explain why do buses do that, I'd love to hear it. But for now, again, this car spawn is actually random. This is good luck to get the car spawn like that, because then we can use it for free environmentals. As you can see, we're going to get ninja kills by using the AI to distract the enemies, so we can just sneak behind them, double tap B, insta-kill. Make sure you break Jackie's jaw for good luck, and back to drifting.
You could with your fist. I'll give you that.
Thanks.
Yeah, we have another guy with us a while back. He was good with his fist too. Came out of nowhere. Good story. Didn't talk much. You remind me of him. A lot. Turned out he was a cop. That's why he can kill anyone, see? So now we know how to spot a rat.
You talking about? You know that?
You know what they do to traitors, right? When Tom stunts them, he buries them alive. 6 feet under. Nobody coming for you.
Tong is sort of supposed to be this major, like, boogeyman of the triad.
No, you stay here. I'll deal with it.
Like some hired assassin with a machete. It's stupid. So I want you to look at the controller in the bottom right now. And pay attention to everything I'm holding down. I'm holding down gas, drift. I'm holding down left stick to lay on the horn, and then wiggling the right stick left and right to drift. And that allows us to harass the driver, meaning we get his passengers, and we position ourselves here so that the 18K tries to get at us earlier rather than later. You're gonna notice the level's slightly unloaded there. That's just typical. If the level's unloaded like that, I do actually lose time because the passengers love to take their sweet time getting out of there when the world doesn't exist. What do you know? But after this, it's just take down 4, 18K, and then go to the spot where you have to drop off the passengers. Again, it's another kind of random element because you don't know how the 18K are gonna sort of react to how you drive. It's also extra annoying because you got all these Chinese women screeching at you in a language you don't understand. And when you have to listen to this over and over when you run this game, it kind of drives you a little insane. Yeah, I have a strange love-hate relationship with running this. I swear that one voice line, like, cuts through me like a knife. As you can see, we are still behind. We're losing time. 30 seconds behind, exactly. My kitchen's making weird noises, and I don't know why. But anyway. Yep. Now, you're going to start to see taxis be utilized more and more as the run goes on. You're going to notice that timer just paused. That adds up. I use so many taxis in this run that it's actually worth it to program a load remover just to remove the load screens in between taxi rides. But yes, we're going to hijack this taxi, position it right here so that we can access it once we've gotten our intel from HQ about the drug stuff. Real important plot stuff, I'm sure. We're going to text the guy we sort of impaled a cleaver into a few missions ago. Jump down here into the taxi, and once we do the texting, we're going to find another taxi, because taxis rule this run. It dictates everything. And it's actually, I think I'd lose a significant amount of time later on just because I couldn't find a taxi. Because I can just screw you over entirely is, well, a taxi hasn't spawned, so I can't fast travel. And once again, we're going to steal this taxi. We steal a lot of taxis, we take a lot of taxis. And fun fact, if you drive up on the curb there, there's a small percentage chance that one of the NPCs will actually try and hail you. And be like, hey, I need a taxi. And then Wade tells him, like, do I look like a taxi driver? It's funny. You're gonna notice Wade's head twitching there, by the way. I had a guy in the comments of my other video be like, hey, why is Wade's head twitching like that? Basically, that's just me getting bored in the run and being like, well, I can't do anything, I have to listen to this dialogue. Let's just make Wade look stupid. You're also going to notice I couldn't get in on the right-hand side because I positioned the door kind of weird and it was very, very slightly in a wall, so the game decided, no, you can't get in that. Position the taxi there because we're going to need a tire iron out of it in a minute.
Look, I work for Winston. Dirty Ming's operating in our territory. I want to make sure he's supplied.
Sure.
And you can see the controller down there corresponding to Way's head.
I gotta get paid in advance. I'll make it easy for you. A couple of deadbeat junkies owe me money. Guys used to deal for me before they became their own best customer. Collect what they owe me.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing with dealing drugs is that you're gonna want to try some yourself because you have such a high supply of them. And then you kind of get addicted. But anyway, grab the tire iron out of this taxi because every single vehicle in Hong Kong just has a tire iron. Chuck it at that idiot's head, slam this guy into a drinks machine, and just run away. Because we have quote-unquote collected the money, even though we just beat up two deadbeats. I don't understand how that's collecting money.
Who the fuck is this? He's okay. One of Winston's guys. Yeah? Guess son on you won't take on anyone these days.
Who's that?
Feng Shen.
This game actually does storytelling extremely well. Like, in the beginning, you're treated like shit, and then later on, you're more respected and all that, and there's just a lot of interesting things that I'll try and point out with the plot, because I've had to listen to this plot so much that I understand it a little too well. So you're gonna notice two cops spawn, and we got the good cop spawn. They spawned next to each other when they were chasing me. And that means that one will back up so that when the other tackles me, I can just run away and the other won't. They auto-tackle me, and I have to take down two of them. And instead, I just got one. And we steal this car, wait for the idiot police to get within ramming range, which they really just love to avoid it. Doesn't save them, though.
Tang?
What have you found?
Got enough to bust Popstar. but I also met his supplier.
Now we're going to discuss our undercover police stuff out in broad daylight, next to where we're going to do the drug trade. Because speedrun strats.
Got the stuff, right?
Don't worry, I got your stuff right here.
No, Wei doesn't have the stuff. Go away. And now instead of just immediately spamming A and just closing out of this, I actually wait until I can get in the car, then I close it. And that's because if I close the phone and don't get in the car, I have to wait through this entire screen. That's like, oh, you did mission, identified supplier. And it loses time. I also have to be really careful at how I drive while that screen is up there, because I don't have a mini-map. And there are police just surrounding the first section of the game. You can lose a lot of time to that. And now we come up to the infamous drug bust mission, where in my last world record I kind of chucked a tire iron at myself somehow. Fun stuff. This game's combat is absolutely flawless and cannot be critiqued whatsoever. You're gonna notice I missed the guy on the motorcycle. I throw the tire iron at him, it doesn't work. Just combat's great overall. It's just a mess. I don't know why I always have problems with this. Now we get to the hacking minigame. It's basically find which numbers you need and what position they're in. I massively mess up which numbers I have selected there, because at this point I'm not like trying to go terribly fast. I'm just thinking it's a test run, chill out, who cares. Now we're just going to take this nice fancy fast motorcycle that was just lying around here and do some fancy motorcycle stuff. The game doesn't really give you many opportunities to drive fast things. I also love how hitting pedestrians means that they fly off and nothing happens to you. But yeah, the game doesn't give you many opportunities to use fast cars, sadly, at least in a speedrun route. And yeah, there's a strange theme with this run. Everyone just sort of falls over for no particular reason. I mean, I know why they fall over. They hit an object that's on the ground that's not a static object. So it hits them and then they just trip over it.
Inspector Tang?
We got them.
This is Wei.
We got them.
Fangshan is down. Popstar will have to reach out to another supplier. I'm thinking we bag them both at once.
I agree.
Now, if I'm gonna get close to him, I'm gonna need a good disguise. Can you have your people send something over?
All right. Keep me informed.
Got it.
We'll send you our finest pair of Groucho Marx glasses. The perfect disguise. And you're gonna notice we're actually ahead by 3 seconds. And that's because I messed up that split so horribly in my record run that, yeah, I can just save time even though I had a horrible intro.
No, I just finished college and I'm doing a bit of travel. You know, figuring out what to do with my life. That's what I like.
So this is the Bam Bam Club.
Back home I saw a restaurant that looked a little bit like this.
Don't let the locals hear you say that. How's that going?
Well, I've only been traveling for a few weeks, so no real progress on the life front yet. But I'm checking out Hong Kong for a while. What about you? You got it all figured out?
I wouldn't say that. You know, I got a few family issues I'm working on clearing up. Maybe once that's dealt with.
Wow. This is a pretty cool place for a kung fu school.
Unfortunately, the school isn't in the temple. Well, not that temple, anyway.
Didn't they use this temple as a backdrop
Grandfather's a Shaolin
for,
Fist, you nerd.
Fists of Carnage?
No, it was using the grandfather of the
idiot.
Shaolin Fist.
How could you not know that?
I
God.
wouldn't say that. You know, I got a few family issues I'm working on clearing up. Maybe once that's dealt with, I'll get on.
That's actually a really interesting line
yeah?
that he's mentioned there, is that how he has quote-unquote family issues. And this is, I'll spoil it now because I imagine everyone here already knows about the plot and all that. But when he's talking about family issues, that's actually referenced later in the game
Isn't
to
this school
how
supposed to be
the
in a
triad
temple?
considers Wei to be a part of the family, and how Wei's currently going through family issues. I don't know if that's entirely intentional, but if it is, that's some amazing writing. But anyway, for this, it's pretty uneventful. I actually gold split this because, well, actually, first things first, you can sort of do these inputs slightly early, like earlier than when they appear, because there's a few frames between pressing X and punching. And getting that sort of window is a bit tight, but you can save a few frames with that. And you're going to notice I use the same trick where you can use the flying kick to go through attack animations and just lock on to whatever's nearby. And that lands me a gold split. Now, if you don't know what a gold split is, that's basically the best I've ever done for that specific section. Now we're heading to Club Bam Bam, one of the most... Well, it's not a boring split per se. I'd say Important Visitors is a really boring split. And that's like 2 hours from now. Angry. I understood that entirely. I am so unbelievably tired. But I have to record all of this. Right. We head to Club Bam Bam. It's just around the corner. As far as I can tell, there's no way of getting a faster vehicle that saves time here. And instead of just sort of getting off our bike, we're just going to jump off it. That just skips an animation where it's really slow. Just get off the bike, take off the helmet, and run over there.
Want to tell him you sent me away?
Dog eyes? Oh, sorry, of course. Come on in, sir.
Dramatic close-up. Yeah, you're not supposed to be where Wei is standing now. You're supposed to be in front of the bouncer, and then it sort of zooms in to be like, oh, this part is dramatic, but I screw up the camera. And that man to the right just flew up in the air, because this is an amazing game that is perfectly made.
Hey, buddy, VIPs only.
What's going on in there?
This is one of the best karaoke rooms in the city. Nobody gets in without a hostess or the boss's approval.
I'm sure we can work something out.
Work something out with the hostess.
Whoa, damn. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Tiffany. Nice to meet you.
I'm Wei. Wei Shen. You're a karaoke hostess, right? Can you get me into the VIP room?
Sure. Just come with me.
I'm being quiet for a reason.
You have a bit of an accent. Are you from around here?
Yeah, originally, but, you know, I was in the States for a long time.
Oh, that's so cool. I always wanted to go.
So, what's Benny like?
Benny? You mean the manager?
Yeah.
Well, Benny's nice enough. He always makes sure
So
to get
while
paid
this
on time.
boring karaoke minigame plays out, that's going to be completely silent because I removed all music and all of that from this game just to avoid copyright stuff. Again, there's some more interesting writing here. I remember hearing a complaint once about how Tiffany's dialogue seems insanely stilted, almost as if she's retarded. Someone else's words, not mine. And this is actually because I believe what the writers were going for was that Tiffany thinks Wei is a tourist because he sounds so American, and he looks American, kinda. So, you know, she's gonna talk a little more unnatural to try and force out English. Which, why she knows English, I don't entirely know. I don't think it's a really well-known language in Hong Kong. But either way, that's why I think she talks all weird like that. And also, you'll notice she has, like, very vague interests in what Wei has to say, almost as if she's just, you know, the equivalent of someone doing her job in entertainment, where it's just sort of, yes, I'm absolutely invested in what you're saying. Would you like to buy another drink? That kind of thing. Where you can tell Tiffany doesn't really give a shit about Wei. Kind of. I mean, it sort of redeems itself later in the story when she finds a gun. I don't know. I'm so sleep deprived right now. I should not be analyzing writing when I'm like this.
But back home, I'm used to a little more. You'd be the person I talk to about that, right? Can I get a VIP room?
Yes, of course. It's much nicer up there.
Go ahead to the lounge upstairs.
Maybe it's because I'm not a very social person and I don't really go outside ever. But I don't understand the concept of a VIP room that you kind of earn through karaoke or being cool, and why it's specifically the hostess that can grant that kind of thing. Either way, we're gonna try and do a vault kill there, off the corner of the table, head slam, environmentals, more vault kills. Really just a real fun time. This combat's very interesting. Makes a very satisfying thwack noise too. The combat definitely knows what sound effects to go for. Some of them are kind of exaggerated a bit, but that thwack noise when you just hear skull hit table, not many things can beat that. It's no Mortal Kombat, but it'll do.
Danny, get the fuck out of here!
Now, contrary to what probably everyone would think, you don't need to kill these bouncers. You can just jump down here and continue Wei's rampage on this club. Why he's getting angry, I don't know. I think it was because, who's his face? Jimmy the Squealer or whoever, I don't know. It was just like, oh no, you don't work for Dog Eyes. Goons attack and Wei beats the shit out of 30 people. For some reason. The plot, it works in certain ways, and in other ways it's just stupid. But then again, I am incredibly tired right now, so maybe don't listen to me. Like, currently, there's really no major tricks going on. It's all just minor combat stuff. I do get stuck on that glass, though. And actually, I failed to monitor my face meter in the bottom left there, the yellow meter. That allows me to grapple the dude in the black suit, because if I do that, he's just going to immediately counter me, because he's a special enemy. However, if I get my face meter up, then I can grapple him, and then just chuck him into a urinal. And take a quick piss. Kick Jimmy the Squealer, whoever the hell he is. And 8 seconds ahead. Somehow, without trying.
You're late.
And now we come up to a really, really, really boring split, because it's mainly just tail the drug person, bust the drug person, oh no, the drug person has killed someone. There you go, I've just summed up like 9 minutes of gameplay for you. Once again, steal the moped, because moped is always fastest, at least in beginning game. You might notice sometimes that I also press down on the left stick just to show where my mission objective is. And that's really just for my own sanity, instead of just like saving any kind of time. So when you get into a taxi, sometimes if you don't have it selected, then it won't point to where you need to fast travel to. Acquire the chicken van, and now it's just a lot of tailing. And really, this is just going to be me killing time by just messing around and trying not to be bored. It's just one of those sections of the game where there's no way of going fast. No one cares that you just destroy Hong Kong in the process either. This is just a normal day. And Popstar doesn't mind either, because I'm at a far enough distance where it doesn't even know that I'm here. Just a normal day. More people falling over. Beautiful. Yep, chicken van's perfectly intact. That does like no damage, just slamming through a whole bunch of metal objects on the road. Not even on the road, the sidewalk's my road. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Oh yeah, Popstar can also accidentally slam into cars here, and that'll increase your suspicion level even though you've done absolutely nothing wrong. Which is completely fair. I've lost runs to that before. Which is great when you're 44 minutes in, though these runs take so long that it couldn't die anywhere. Now away goes all sneaky, and we have to take a picture of Mr. Fucking, I don't know, like Russian tracksuit jacket thing and generic NPC number 4852. Absolutely incriminating.
My shit is the best. Check it out.
And apologies if this section's a bit boring and there's nothing to say. It's just a lot of waiting. Why yes, this perfume smells amazing. I love this. I'll take 20. Yes, what he said. And what we're going to do is we're going to restart from checkpoint once that little notification on the left appears, because that resets the AI and makes everyone move faster, and makes the lanky bastard on the left there move how he should do. If I don't restart, he just like circles around both cars, and it loses a bunch of time. Now here I'm going to go for a new trick that I discovered while just sort of getting a feel for the game again. And that is, instead of going down there and be like, who cares? You can just roll down here, activate that a little early, and then Wei will cancel out of this sort of stagger animation earlier. If you do a hover kick off of that, you can gain even more distance, but because it wasn't a trick that I practiced that much, I kind of messed it up.
Oh God, that's disgusting.
Those graphics are disgusting. Oh shit. And as you can see, we snap out of that pretty fast. Do a hover kick off here, into a roll, and then go up on these sort of military-looking sandbag things to climb up here. Just get some garbage juice on you, it's fine. Wei decides to jump down. But no, instead we need to take a picture of the lovely view of Hong Kong. Supposedly this is a picture of Popstar killing someone, but as long as you're pointing in the general direction of where you need to take a picture, the game just decides, yeah, that's close enough, you're fine. Get out of here. So that's exactly what we do. Jump down, roll, and back into the chicken van, which is, again, almost perfectly intact. Look at that. Beautiful.
Did you get Popstar supplier?
I got him. So did Popstar. 2 shots.
Which we totally photographed.
Shuts down the drug pipeline. And I'm giving you Popstar on a platter. I got the deal and the double cross on camera.
Good work, Wei. Thanks. With Popstar gone, Sun On Yi is down to only one supplier. The bottleneck will create a lot of tension inside the triad. Watch your back, Wei.
No shit. And now we're just gonna wait for the cops to politely pull us over and arrest us. No, seriously. And there they are.
Really, cops? Great.
And again, now I have to wait 10 seconds. Although I do mess this up slightly because the cops decide to be stupid. And just, no, they're not gonna even try. They're just gonna annoy me and make me lose time. Because if you don't take them down fast enough, more cops decide to spawn, which you're gonna see in a second here. So even though, yeah, it says, oh, I'm in the clear, because I didn't do it a few seconds faster, more cops spawn, so I have to take them out too. Because they assume, oh, I'm part of the drug bust instead of just some, random chicken delivery person.
We've charged Popstar and his top lieutenants. Conspiracy, trafficking, possession,
murder.
He'll get life. And we've seized what looks like an entire month's supply. Thanks, Wei. You've done more to stop drugs coming into Hong Kong than half the narcotics squad.
That is incredibly depressing when you think about Hong Kong's sort of narcotics division, then if one undercover man just did more work than who knows how many millions of Hong Kong wacky buck taxpayer dollars pay for them. Yeah, now, Mr. Tracksuit, whoever, fucking Winston, that's his name. Now he's angry because, oh no, my drug empire's in trouble, and you're suspicious. There's supposed to be a whole cutscene where we almost get discovered, but because Wei's just so smooth, it's like, no, that guy did it though, and then they shoot him. But he wasn't an undercover cop, we are. As you can see, Wei's stress just rising more and more. It's incredible how he's like still alive by the end of the game, considering how much physical and mental abuse he goes through. Now we come up to the listening in split, which is all splits sort of have some kind of trick to them to do them faster. It's interesting to think about when every single mission there's a trick you can do to make it faster. Every single one. And with this one, it's pretty significant, actually. So yes, we go here, listening in, flirt with some tech girl in Hong Kong, because Hong Kong. They'll first need to steal another taxi. And to sort of back into the store.
Can I...
Yes, you're so attractive, who cares?
Did you get the bug? I got it.
Now, oh no, the bug's been stolen from us by random jacket man. And then I do a slightly different trick here. Again, I wasn't even expecting this to get world record, so I decided, alright, let's try this sort of newer strat. Where you just park here, and then chase him. I mess it up slightly, and almost certainly don't actually save time. And that mainly has to do with the fact that, well, A, I didn't do a ninja kill on him, and B, I parked the car... I didn't do it correctly, so the right-hand door is clipping into the sidewalk a bit, so I won't be able to get into it properly. Now, we don't call Raymond. If we call Raymond, then we're not going to be able to do a little bit of sequence breaking here. As you can see, no, can't get in. Well, I'll just go on the left-hand side, like an American. And then drive on the right-hand side of the road, like an American. But no. And now what we have to do is, instead of just calling Raymond and him being like, oh, construction site parkour, cool gameplay, instead we just go straight to where we need to go, because we're not going to get kicked out yet, because the game doesn't think that we're going to actually, like, try and break in early. So we get to save time on that. Sorry, Duke. Alright, get out of the way. So we climb up here, and then we're able to make the phone call without being kicked out for trespassing.
Did you get the bug? I got it.
Our surveillance team reports that you should be able to get onto the roof from the construction site next door. Whatever you do, don't let them see you planting that bug.
No shit. How'd the bus thing go?
Good.
We can fight, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Nothing.
Hey, don't try that shit. You got something to say, talk.
It's too easy. This guy
Yes, he does just come out of nowhere when Dog Eyes is pressing us. You're always on the verge of just kind of being discovered, and it's a little ridiculous at times, but I don't feel like it makes the plot unbelievable in any way. It does feel kind of cliched, though. For this, you're going to notice that I used the mouse to detect where the frequencies are, and I use the controller to screw in the screws. That's because with keyboard, you're limited to a certain speed with screwing in screws when it comes to keyboard, and with controller, when it comes to frequencies, you have to do another section where you have to find both frequencies at the same time. So as you can see there, we are now... We're gaining some time back. We're only 11 seconds behind. And I still, like, at that point couldn't believe, well, this still seems like a really valid run considering how many things I messed up in my world record, which, looking at it now, it's going to be even more interesting. steal this car, lose some time because just can't find a taxi. There's no taxi there. And there's a taxi. And there's another taxi. And Wade just sort of... yeah. Now give me a taxi ride. But no. Now we get to do the first race of the game, I think? It's the first race. We get lucky with the taxi and he decides to stop early, saving us a bit of time. Though that doesn't save us enough time considering how much we lost just trying to find the taxi. But who cares? Do a flying jump kick into mission start just to sort of warp up the stairs a little bit. Instead of having them slow you down. Now instead of texting Jackie about the racing scene immediately, how about get a car first? And there we go. Now we can text him about it. Otherwise we'd just be slowed down by Wei looking at his phone. So remember kids, if you want to be fast, text and drive. Yes, and of course Jackie, of course, knows some racing guy in the underground circuit. Blah blah blah.
Wei Shen, you up for a race?
Yeah, sure. As long as you don't
Yeah, right. I have the power of speedruns on my side. I never lose. Though this trick I had to end up doing is a bit tight. If you mess it up, you only have a handful of frames to recover. I'll try and explain all of the minor movements I do here. I stick to the left so that if the AI decides to have a faster cycle, the guy behind me ends up pushing me a little bit, causing me to go a few frames faster. I ran ahead and made sure that I hit this guy here so that he gets out of my way so that I can line up this trick where I go off-road, well, off the track, do a very, very tight right-hand turn here, and just am right back on the track. If you look at the mini-map down there, well, someone's already crashed, and we're also massively ahead, which is useful. Really, sometimes it's like the controller's more interesting to look at than the actual gameplay here, because it's a lot of, alright, when do I drift, when do I ram, how hard should I turn? Because now it's just about trying to take the tightest line possible, because we're not going to have AI in our way. Which is one less random element to deal with. Something just broke behind me. You can see me, like, turn around, but, huh? Because physics in this game, well, it's like any game, they're not perfect. Hope you're enjoying the commentary, by the way. This is, if all goes well, this will be uploaded on the 25th, on Wednesday, which is tomorrow for me. I'm really cutting it close because I want to get it out as soon as possible. And hopefully it's not too obvious that this is recorded over multiple days. Because, in the comments, take a shot to see if you know when there were breaks in audio. And ideally you want to finish the race under 2 minutes, but I believe I get a 2:02. 2:02, 2:03, a 2:04. That's not bad.
Good win. Lucky for you, those Amars kept getting in the way. 1 in a million shot.
Want a rematch?
Yeah, sure.
You ready for the big time? Let me know. Everybody knows I'm the best driver in the city. Everyone.
Oh yeah? I'll take you down too, hotshot. Just as soon as my car is fixed.
And of course that's an unskippable cutscene that basically just tells us, this guy, he's the best racer because he just uses an objectively faster car than everyone, which for some reason isn't illegal in street racing because there are no rules, even though there really should be just for fairness. You get this weird, like, sort of sporty coupe car that I have compared to, like, the supercar that Hotshot has, and it's not really fair. That always kind of bothered me a little bit. But I guess it's illegal stuff, so who cares? Take another taxi and start to notice that the time on the right is getting a little more desynced. And like I said earlier, this absolutely will add up. This cutscene's basically just Tiffany going, "Oh no, Mr. Important Dog Eyes person left his gun here and wanted me to have it," and then she gets upset because it's Hong Kong, not America, and guns are a weird thing to them.
Hello?
Raymond, I got something.
What is it?
Something for ballistics. A weapon belonging to one of Dog Eye's men. Do you know Charlie Pang?
Wait, how did you get Charlie Pang's gun?
Never mind. Can you use it?
Alright, meet me.
I will always, always love Raymond's tone there. It's just like, wait, how did you get Charlie Pang's gun? What have you done? Wait, just goes, no, never mind, it's not important. I need you to show me how to use it because I'm a cop.
Andrew?
Pendrew? What a twist.
Okay, you ready? Alright, listen. It's simple. We'll have to recreate the fight.
You think you can rip me off? Oh, hang on. Let's just talk about this. Fuck you. Let's go, sir. Damn it.
I like to imagine it's Pendrew making up all these voices.
First he was in cover behind the barricade. Get down behind that barricade.
And I almost shoot Pendrew there because he gets in my way.
Alright, good. By now, the van must have appeared on the scene.
The van. I get all 3 headshots there, which is a bit uncommon because I use a slightly different strategy when it comes to shooting, and it does make me lose time because I remember earlier in my sort of sleeping dog speedrun career, well done me, in my sleeping dog speedrun career, that like, oh, you don't need the shooting upgrades and skills because accuracy or something, and it was all bullshit. You do need the 3 top skills in the police section of upgrades to be able to shoot way more accurately. And that was my bad. Again, I didn't expect this run to get world record. You see, I get kind of pissed off at Pendrew there, and it's like, God, I hate this run and I want to shoot you.
Your weapon off.
And Pendrew ends up being a complete idiot, shoots a corpse, and then just leaves his prints all over a gun. Like a chief of police would. A corrupt chief of police, mind you. And I initiate and then immediately exit out of this race to cancel cops ever coming after me. Get a random boost of acceleration because that's just one of the ramps, or one of the inclines in the game where it's just, I don't know, you just gain a lot of speed. There's one outside Club Bam Bam as well. Accidentally clip someone. And now, oh no, Winston mad, time to shoot people.
Dog Eye's gotta know he fucked with the wrong people.
Yeah, no kidding.
We're short a gun. You're good with your hands, Shan. Let's see what you can do without iron.
Look, hold on. We shouldn't go in shooting anyway. There'll be workers in there. We need Sue while alive. He's worth a fortune.
Oh, we're going in shooting. This is Dog Eye's biggest moneymaker. They're not gonna give it up without a fight.
But you want me unarmed.
You're the new guy. What are you trying to do?
You're the new guy. What are you trying to do? But no, again, Way makes some very valid points, and then Conroy's just a gangster dumbass, as usual. And even though Conroy's 100% right in us being a cop, he's still a moron. And Way makes incredible points there. Suwa is worth a fortune, and he is, you know, worth keeping alive. I mess up just skipping that animation there by bailing a little too, I want to say late? There's a way of doing it faster. And that's not the way. Now for this one, it's just more standard combat. Accidentally tackle that guy because I was running when I grappled. Throw him into some cardboard. Throw you into some cardboard. And then just standard combos from here on out. Again, flying kick just to cancel getting stunned. Which is always, always a useful combo. Beautiful.
Hey, what's this brother? Did you hear? Who the fuck is this?
Wei Shen, motherfucker, who are you? mess that up slightly. And for some reason, it's only there that you can climb up, not earlier. I don't know why. But now here I switch over to keyboard controls because it's a shooting section. And this is mainly just about face management and just making sure that your health is fine, and that's just controlled by your face meter. If your face meter is full and activated, you'll start regenerating health, which is really useful to just rush through certain sections. You can see they failed to shoot me there, and now I can just regen health, though it's a little too late. And here I take a slightly different path that doesn't save time, because it's just dependent upon Suwa's ability to run to a certain spot, but I just like taking that path because it's different. Chuck the gun because we don't need it anymore. Again, just leave our prints all over the gun, who cares? And also, you wouldn't have been able to see it because of how cutscenes work, but Pendrew was like, oh, you might notice how guns are a scarcity in Hong Kong, unlike your fancy American stuff.
I said, don't move! Fucking cops.
But one of the problems with that is this section, and also all other shooting sections, because now everybody in Hong Kong has guns for some reason. I don't know why. It was just, I imagine, just gameplay storytelling limitations, where you can't have a shooting game or a GTA like without guns. I believe here I get a nice clean hijack if you look at the minimap right now, because the cop spawns on a completely different road and can't catch up to us, so we just immediately start losing him and save a bunch of time with that.
Done? Okay, I'm done. What are you doing?
Kidnapping you, of course. And now you're going to notice we are back in the run, basically. 14 seconds behind with a gold split, which is amazing. And that's just, how fast can we find a taxi? And there's a taxi. This run is so dependent on taxis. You can see why I wanted to make a load remover for this. Now it's just another tailing mission. That really doesn't have much interesting to say. Oh, and by the way, you can still do like what you do with the chicken van. The cops just don't care for this section. You can ram into whatever you want, but for this it is slower because it's dependent on how fast you can get to Hotshot instead of tailing him. Jackie makes a remark earlier about how the cops must really suck in this town, which is supposed to be some clever writing where it's like, we know we're a cop, and he just said we suck, but he doesn't know we're a cop. Which again, this game has good writing in really specific spots, but otherwise, no.
You can't be serious. Are you trying to insult me? The car's crap.
Let me fix my car up, then I'll take you. Easy.
Fine. It's your funeral.
And even though Hotshot sees us for a second, it doesn't matter because he wasn't supposed to, because that was an animation glitch. You know, notice I wiggle my mouse around, that's just to try and hear where the frequency is while it's loading, because you can actually finish this minigame while it has the little loading screen on your phone. Get back in the city van and make sure, if you run this game, make sure you don't press anything when you do this. If you hold down gas, there is a good chance that you will just straight up crash the game. It's one of the only consistent game crashes I've ever been able to find. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does happen semi-frequently. And luckily, it's very avoidable too. Naz? Oh no.
How's the race second, huh?
I
still own it. Hey, you know this guy?
And of course, they start talking about Wei.
Every time I turn around, that guy shows up. And usually the cops aren't far behind.
Started racing the other day. Talking tough. You think he's a rat?
Or undercover. They had a problem with that a little while back. You think they kill a cop and the police just go away?
Sun On Yi's in trouble if he is.
I'm 18K, what do I care? But if I was you, I wouldn't let them see you do anything and walk away.
This town is full of morons, Naz. It's up to me to put them into place.
Yeah? Why?
Punk by the name of Ace. Talking a lot
Now,
of
to anyone
trash.
who's seen my old world record video, you're going to notice that this is a different strategy. As long as you are under 100 meters away from Hotshot, you will not fail the mission. So you're going to notice I keep a very close eye on how far away I am from him.
Looks like you have little choice, huh?
And there we go, perfect.
Yes.
Inspector, it's Wei. Hotshot's gonna race Ace, and he's talking like he's not gonna let Ace make it to the finish line alive.
Do you know where and when?
Not yet. And one other thing. Hotshot and his friend Nas suspect I'm a cop.
Nas Singh, the drug smuggler?
You know him?
Yeah, I know him. He's an informant for HKPD. He's the one that put us on to Hotshot in the first place.
Fucking guy's playing both sides of the game.
You want me to tell him to shut up?
No. I agreed to help you, Inspector, but not if it gets me killed. Do everything you can to keep my cover intact. I'll deal with Nas myself.
All right, Wei, all right. For now, let me know if you find out anything about that race.
I love how both of them just massively overreact over the phone. She's like, oh, do you want me to deal with him? He's like, no, what are you doing? And she's like, calm down. It's like, seriously, you two, calm down. Both of you need to fucking relax. And again, back-to-back gold splits, which is amazing. Again, didn't expect this run to go anywhere. You're going to hear me say that a lot because I'm still kind of in disbelief. I wasn't trying for world record. You're going to notice I load the autosave. I don't load any other saves. It's straight up just the autosave, and that's just so I can teleport to the bed to trigger this.
Show me some blood on his hands. Show your true colors tonight, brother.
You are an officer of the law.
Stress building. But now we get to one of... It's like a top 5 most boring splits. The game sort of has this weird section where it's just a lot of condensed storytelling. You're going to notice I actually bug out a phone call here. I'm going to shut up for this because I've never actually done this before. But it does save a decent amount of time. I just don't know how to do it consistently.
Hello.
Wait, the Knox Security Company has refused to pay protection money.
Oh yeah?
If you see their
How much will that cost me?
hijack them, bring them to one of our garages. Sun On Yi never paid full price.
Sounds good. I'll grab them if I see them.
Yeah, Wei just taking 2 phone calls at once because that's some 200 IQ speedrun strats right there. Now, if only I could get it consistently. But it doesn't matter. And this is just going to be a bit of a break. If you want to skip to where gameplay happens again, top left, you know the drill. Otherwise, I'm not going to talk over this.
That may be just what saves us. I'm gonna bump Uncle Poe's cut. Well, when that does it, it's not fair, you know? Look what I built. The night market. All of North Point, really. Then Dog Eyes gets greedy. What was I supposed to do, huh, Lee? I mean, what's hang up?
Just what you did. Look, you can't back down from that asshole.
You and him got history, huh? Well, me too. Listen, Wade. Anything happens to me, you look after our people, okay? We're a family. Family has to stick together. Duke, Conroy, they're good guys. But they're not gonna be leaders. I know Conroy gives you shit, but you've proven yourself now. And he'll see it. Even if he doesn't want to admit it. He'll do me a favor. Look after Peggy and my mom, too. This can be rough business. But one thing we got going for us is each other. Brothers, you know. I know people use that word a lot. But it means something to me. And it should to you, too. Not just that we're Sun On Yi. True brothers. Blood. We look after each other. And we look after the people we love.
Okay, Winston. Siwa told me he really works for Big Smiley, not Dog Eyes. I keep hearing his name.
Big Smiley is back in Dog Eyes, sure. That's where he gets the balls to come after me. Well, he has a lot of power. Along with drugs, he's into prostitution, porn. He even sells women across the border into the rest of Asia. The whole thing is run like an industry. Very sleazy, but big money.
Winston, we can't just walk in there, not if it's as bad as you say.
We don't have a lot of choice. It's the way it's done, Way. Besides, you can't hide from Uncle Po. If he wants you dead, you're dead. And I'd rather see it coming, you know? You should be okay. But if I get my ass shot, do not do anything stupid, you hear me?
Okay.
Who gives a shit?
Fuck off, John.
And I'll sum up all the cutscenes I just sort of skipped there and any dialogue you may have skipped over. It's basically, oh no, that guy who had the factory, he was important, and we've messed over the triads in a way. Uncle Po is the chairman, he's nice but scary, blah blah blah.
You alright?
And also Way is modest.
Stay ready.
I always am.
Look, in the meantime, getting swamped with this wedding crap. I mean, need your help on a couple of things.
Yeah?
Yeah. I tell you, it's easier to be a red pole than a groom. Let's stop by the restaurant when you're done there, okay?
Got it.
Just crash into Roll and Hoe with your car because it's faster. And now we're going to hunt down Patsy. And with all runs, I am gonna have to just explain a little history.
Hey, Jackie.
I'll let Jackie talk now.
Checking in, man. I heard things were kind of intense, but wanted to make sure you're still with us, you know?
Uncle Po seems to have a handle on who's causing the trouble.
That's a relief.
Look, gotta see Ray about some.
Just make sure you hit everything on your way here. Now I have to explain something called the Patsy skip. The Patsy skip is a very elusive trick that could save almost 3 minutes, or 2-ish minutes, I suppose. And that's basically involves taking the ramp you just saw off the stairs and launching yourself just to the left of the fountain. If done correctly, this breaks Patsy's AI and she never gets in the car, and that just allows you to immediately hijack her without her driving off. This has been done maybe twice on record. Champlu got one, but it was only partial, and I got one which was full. Both were only done on original Sleeping Dogs, not Definitive Edition. And I've never even been able to do the trick on Definitive Edition, so I can't confirm if they fixed that or not. Either way, this part's easy. You just sort of drive ahead of Patsy and get ready for a kind of tricky hijack that can very easily go wrong. She drives very erratically, or at least her henchman does.
Who are you? What is this? I haven't done anything.
That's the problem. You owe a guy like rolling home money, you gotta pay.
I'm sorry.
I don't care if you're sorry. I care if you have the money.
I don't. I'm sorry.
Hey, stop saying that.
Sorry.
Look,
The car. Who has drugs in the back? That should cover my debt. Don't hurt me.
And again, this is actually more interesting storytelling if you go down all of Roll and Ho's side missions, because you start to realize that this guy is insanely evil and known as almost like one of these infamous, dangerous people where if you owe him money, you're better off dead because of the measures he uses and how little he cares. And it doesn't make sense to just see her dive out of the car like that. It only makes sense once you've gone through all the missions and you realize, yeah, actually that's a reasonable reaction. Anyway, now Raymond's upset because we've shot people even though we're a cop. Who cares? Skip cutscene. And then we basically said, oh, but I met Uncle Po though, and he's like, oh man, that's really important. Wake up, skip the makeup, and go straight to Winston's wife, because we get to help her with her wedding, which is you know, one of the most action-packed scenes in the entire game was when you go dress shopping. I'm so excited. Once again, we rely heavily on taxis just to get us where we need to go, because, yeah, it's about 2,000 meters away. And again, the timers, you're going to notice, 22 seconds off. I've saved 22 seconds just by removing load times from taxis.
So, Wei, do you have a girlfriend?
And again, I'm going to allow you to skip this if you just don't want to hear story again, because it's another section I just don't have anything to say.
Your life is why it'd be good. You have to have someone you can be soft with too, Wei. It's very important. If you're hard all the time, one day you'll forget how to be soft. Then where will you be?
If you say so.
I do say so. You are family now, Wei. I have to look out for you, just like Winston. After the wedding, I'm gonna find someone for you.
So how do you get on with Winston's mother?
She's a handful, but, you know, her bark is worse than her bite.
That I know. How about her meat cleaver?
Ha! That's worse than her bark for sure. No, she used to scare me, but then one day, I was having a problem with Winston. He wasn't paying enough attention to me, too distracted with work. And Mrs. Chu gave him a big lecture in front of the whole gang. I thought she might use that cleaver on him. Ever since then, Winston's been an absolute doll. And even though she still yells a lot, I know her heart is at the right place.
You're lucky. And my mother never liked my girlfriends.
I guess it's hard for the moms.
Well, I mean, you know, I used to have a thing for blondes too, and that drove her crazy. Bad enough if I went out with a Chinese-American girl, but a whitey?
Oh my god!
No, she's loyal to her prejudices more like.
That.
Here we are.
Ah, so good to see you again.
I'm just gonna change back and...
And now that we're done with the thrilling dress shopping section, now we actually get to some interesting crime-related things.
Winston's in charge of that. He knows I'm very particular about cakes, but he promised I wouldn't be disappointed.
Well, you're not going to be disappointed when it comes to being entertained. Basically, the cake shop has been robbed, and it's assumed that the lady who's driving the cake van is the one who robbed them, and that just so happens to be the cake of the like red pole of the triads, and she has messed up basically. As we're going to see by Wei jumping from this car.
It was Mimi, my sister. Growing up in old prosperity, she started down a
Funnily enough, I actually saved just a lot of time by driving a lot safer and more sensibly.
Hey, isn't that a van from the wedding cake company?
You're gonna notice the van actually slowed down a bit and swerved there because a car was in the way. That's just really good luck, and it saved me a lot of time because now the van is slower, meaning I can actually overtake it and go for a faster hijack.
Peggy, if we don't catch that van, you won't have your special cake at your wedding.
So you're gonna see me just be really finicky with controls, because if I mess this up, I can lose over a minute.
You're a gangster, do something! Get out there and get him!
Here, take the wheel!
Careful, don't hurt my cake!
And I'm not even on the really good side for hijacks. You're supposed to be to the right of someone, or to the left of someone, to be able to get a good hijack, because that's where Wei is driving from. Because they're all filthy communist right-handed cars. And that's one of the fastest ways of doing the cake hijack.
Wow, that's great. I'll take it right to him.
So immediately we're already massively ahead.
All done.
Oh, thank you, Wei. Thank you. You know, it makes me think.
Uh-oh, women thinking. Someone call Tumblr.
We're going to the temple, aren't we?
That was just a bad joke, I apologize. When you have to do commentary for this long, you're gonna start scraping for bad jokes.
Well, you're wrong, Wei. You have family, you have us.
Thanks.
No, I mean it. I know Winston's work can be rough, but it makes us a family.
Again,
too.
you're gonna hear that repeated over and over. We're a family. We are a family. All of that. And again, all I think about is that line from Wei when he's talking to Amanda, where it's like, "No, I have some family issues." that has to be intentional writing. It has to be. That can't just be a throwaway line. I want to believe it was intentional and that that's really good writing.
You're
I
still
feel like one of the few people who notices that.
Hey, come back!
Wait here. I'll be right back.
What is her thought process? You have to break into a temple to get flowers that you quite clearly are stealing. And Wade does a nice little hover jump there for the audience. Hope you're entertained, because that lost me time. But anyway, she gets all upset because it's like, wait, where are you going? What are you doing? When it was literally established that we have to steal these flowers from a temple. And it's like, how do you expect Wade to get in there anyway? There's also the fact that you're supposed to sort of do this whole, fast talk your way through the monks of this temple, when you can just sort of take the path I take and avoid everyone. Which, again, for the longest time I actually didn't know you could do this, because the game doesn't explicitly tell you. And then, oh no, the flower picking alarm has gone off. Now a whole bunch of people are going to try and beat you up for some reason. They could just, like, try being like, hey, stop. You, like... I don't understand why they immediately go from peaceful to, I'm going to beat your ass into the ground. And Wade decides to move a little weird there.
Call the police. I'll keep him occupied.
Police! We have a thief! He's desecrating our temple!
I think this is one of the few games that can get away with English.
You got them? Oh, Wade, thank you so much.
How can I say no? Peggy, do you have any Winston's clothes in the back? I don't think these robes gonna make the right impression.
What do you think about this?
Yeah, sure.
And now, of course, we're going to be wearing the clothes of Winston, which, considering what's about to happen to him, totally doesn't signify anything. And we're going to get really lucky with losing the cops here, because we just hit the 10-second mark a few seconds ago, and then we can just escape them because they weren't fast enough, because alleys.
Thank you, Way. Thank you.
It was my pleasure. And if you're gonna be my sister, the least I can do is help out with your wedding.
Your mother would be proud of you.
I hope so. Now, sometimes I wonder.
No, I can see it.
And then up here, we're going to ram into someone just to make sure that Peggy stops talking.
My car!
So that we don't have to listen to her when we hit that mission end. And now we are massively ahead again by 42 seconds. At this point, I'm thinking, okay, this has potential to be a serious run because of how much time I lose on Water Street, Funeral, and other splits like that. So at this point I'm thinking, alright, let's go serious. We need to hit all our tricks. And we're going to hit another trick here, first try. The Water Street jump. Basically, if you don't understand how to do it specifically, look at the controller in the bottom right. Because this took me a while to figure out the exact inputs. Basically, if you are holding down gas for any of that jump, you're almost certainly not going to make it, or else it's just completely random. If you don't hold gas when you ram, and you sort of have a kind of thin window to do that input in, then you're actually able to sail over it pretty easily, though you can still be stopped by just clipping into the sidewalk a little bit. So now immediately we're a minute 18 ahead, and we get really good taxi spawn. Steal yet another taxi. I feel really bad for the taxi drivers in Hong Kong. There's just one man dragging them out of every single taxi. And then I mess up a skip here, because for some reason Wei doesn't want to get in the car, so I have to sit here and wait.
I'll get there as soon as possible.
Don't worry, there's still time.
Don't start without me.
No one cares about you, Jackie. But yeah, if you are able to get into the car before that call starts, you'll have to get out later once the call ends, or else your controls will lock up, but that does save time. Yes, everyone's so happy. Beautiful wedding. And then all of a sudden, gunshots. Oh no.
You there? Holy shit, did you see that?
I didn't actually.
There's no way we're getting in through here.
I'll find a way inside.
I'll go get help.
Yes, Jackie, go get help. What that help is, I will never know. I forget how well I do on this combat section. I think I do pretty good, because I do a different strat here than what I'm used to. Normally I have to play the game kind of carefully and get as many triad points as possible to unlock the insta-kill. But here I just go for sort of alternate combat, which involves head slams, wall slams, and annoying cleaver people. He's gonna cause some problems for us. And there's a wall slam. Those do about as much damage as a head slam, but they are... you can't re-grab out of them. Which makes them kind of slow, but for situations where it's a little difficult to actually get consistent head slams, because Wei loves to try and grapple people he can't grapple, also known as, you know, grapplers and people who have weapons. And Wei's going to refuse to stomp on this guy for some reason, until there. And then I look around for the cleaver, figure, can't find it, who cares, just go for the ninja kill here. And then switch over to keyboard controls to pick up the gun and start shooting. We have our first truly major shooting section. Count the factory. And one trick, oh by the way, Winston's dead now, and so is his wife.
Winston!
Oh no, Winston. But anyway, one thing that you can do to sort of be able to target people a little easier if they start hiding in cover is to stop aiming at them. If you keep aiming at them, they will not pop out their head. If you just stop for a second, there's a good chance, because the AI loves to cheat, they will just decide, okay, now I'll pop my head out. You're also going to notice the amount of bloom is a little stupid. I don't actually know why this is. I don't know what causes it. It's sometimes when the face meter pops off, it just causes everything to kind of glow. But as for specifically why it happens, I couldn't tell you. I forget if I die here. I think I come close. I go for the assault rifle, even though I honestly lost time there when I should have just shot the guy. Because for some reason in my head I thought, oh, there's another section coming up. I need to do things for that too.
Uncle Po!
Uncle Po, no.
Uncle Po! You're hurt.
Uncle Po, let's get out of here. And do a little trick where we sort of skip most of the shooting in this section by just doing a little trick off a potted plant. Also, you notice how they intentionally gave Wei a white suit so that when it's covered in blood it looks a little more dramatic, because a black suit wouldn't be able to achieve the same effect. Just cause a massive explosion there. Because we don't care about, you know, killing people and burning corpses at this point. Once you kill one person, you may as well just go for 199 more. I should count, like, Wei's final kill count in this run. That would be interesting. Though I think some happen, like, in cutscenes, so I don't know if I can, you know, accurately judge that. Now, what you're going to notice here, I skip the cop upgrades, go straight for Triad, and I don't go for the cop upgrades any other time in the run, I don't think. And that was a massive mistake. However, we're still ahead by 1 minute and 11 seconds. Again, Raymond getting all upset because, you're an undercover cop, I don't like it. You're a loose cannon.
You look after that people, okay? Get Peggy out of here.
Winston!
She doesn't deserve this.
Just keep building on the stress. Now what you might notice is that Winston's dead, we're dressed like Winston, and the chairman likes us. We've become Winston.
All of last year's equalization shoes are
And I holster my gun there just because everyone will just start freaking out if you just wave a gun around Hong Kong. Big surprise. But now we go take down Hotshot, which is always fun because I hate that arrogant little prick, I'll be honest. Maybe not the best taxi luck here, but a taxi is a taxi, and I'm always happy to find one. And again, the timer desyncs further, which is always a good thing because that means we're saving more time with the load remover. Taxi driver loves to drive around in a circle here for no reason.
Where's this guy?
Drag him out of the taxi to teach him a lesson.
Hotshot's trying to kill me! He's crazy!
Wow, Hotshot's trying to kill people. What do you know? He races dirty. I never would have guessed. Now, what you're supposed to do here is, triangulate the cell phone place of Hotshot. You listen to his girlfriend, she's screaming, and it's all dramatic. You can also just drive to where Hotshot crashed Ace. Because this game, I mean, while you can't do major sequence breaks and just skip to the final mission, they do allow really minor sequence breaks. So while it does end up having the run be really long, it's also really complex. That's part of, honestly, why I should have done, like, a post-commentary over my original run, instead of just waiting a month, and then doing this one when I just don't have time to do speedruns anymore, because college is starting up soon for me. And at that point, I won't be able to do any speedruns. At least not ones that aren't just immensely short.
I tried to help him, Nga, but he's not breathing. There's blood everywhere. We were in front. Ace was winning, Nga. At least he thought he was winning, oh. Hotshot was setting us up. He got alongside the back of the car, ran us into the railing, pushed us up against it. We flipped over it. The wheel went right into Ace's chest.
You know, maybe it's just because I've listened to her dialogue over and over again, but at first I thought she had horrible voice acting because she keeps making these weird noises in the beginning. But then I thought, oh, maybe it's good. But now I just can't tell anymore. Let me know if you think her voice acting is shit or not. We wait to call Tang because it's just faster to call her when it's up here, then we can hijack this car. It's just a better idea overall.
All the evidence you need to get this bag of shit off the streets.
I'll type out a warrant.
Don't bother, I have a better idea. I'll challenge him to a race, and once we're in it, I'll lead him right to you.
Alright, but wait. I want him alive.
Now, compared to my old record run, I actually take a different path because I think this one's faster. So instead of going south, we go north, then I want to say that's east, and we just follow this road. Luckily, the objective marker of Victoria Peak does update to tell you the right road instead of just telling you, oh, turn around, go into oncoming traffic like a true American. I also don't know why every single car in this game that's this model has the same license plate that's all fancy and says fastback in elite speak. It kind of takes me out of it a little bit, but it's not really that big of a complaint. I am recording, right? Yes, good. I lost some time to recording this, actually, because there was a massive storm going on outside, and I couldn't edit out the sound of rain that was that heavy. So my computer makes noise, but I can edit that out. That's easy. Yes, I am the one who is a punk, not you, Hotshot, who is quite clearly the punk.
Sucker!
You gotta cheat to win?
It's not cheating if you win!
You know it's dangerous to drive and talk, right?
You suck! You know that?
That's like the comeback of a kindergartner there. It's Wave says, oh, what you're doing is dangerous, don't drive and talk, and he says, you suck. You suck. It's like, bravo, good comeback. For this section, it's actually really, really, really easy to overtake Hotshot if you know all the little shortcuts, but you can actually go so fast that you've quote-unquote lost Hotshot. even though you're so far ahead in this, again, quote-unquote, race. It's not a race, it's just following Hotshot, and it's so easy to keep up with him. Here's the first major skip that Hotshot doesn't take, is just going through a quite obviously shorter road. And now we're right behind Hotshot. I don't go for the skip on the right just because I forgot about it. Hotshot was in my way. And, excuses. But I do go for this one, which is, again, like, it doesn't matter how fast you go on here, because it's just about taking out Hotshot once you get to a certain point. Meters away from Hotshot. Now we slow down for the takedown. The weird thing with Hotshot is he takes a lot more hits than any other car in the game, especially ones driven by other NPCs. I think you have to ram him about like 4 times. He has to be, you have to ram him to the point where he would normally explode if he was just a regular, not important person. And when he says that voice line. They do a bad job losing the police here, because one of them actually somehow ends up going at the same speed of a supercar. So I have to take him out. And of course he wants to be annoying about it, but cops are stupid, so we can lose him pretty easily. And I spy a taxi, so I end up just making sure he doesn't go anywhere. There's 2 taxis. This right here just sums up Definitive Edition versus Original, in that Definitive Edition always has better luck with taxis. And we gained a whole second! That'll pay off later, I'm sure. Take the taxi, don't do New Boss. We do Mrs. Chu's Revenge because it just ends up ending the mission closer to the next mission, which saves time. You could probably use this video as like a pseudo guide just for running the game, because I do showcase most tricks, and I am explaining them with inputs, but it's not like a real guide, I guess. I was working on a guide for running this game, but I aimed too high and I couldn't finish it, and now I just don't have time anymore. Either way, same thing with Ace. To get to Johnny the Ratface, you can just drive straight to where he is. You don't need to triangulate shit, you don't need to call Ricky, it doesn't matter. And if you're fast enough, you can actually sort of nudge him a little. And this is the first of many sections where it's faster to just ignore enemies instead of, you know, taking them on, because we're going fast.
Hey, you!
And right here, I restart from checkpoint so that I spawn with a better gun and with less people shooting at me. For some reason, it fails to disarm that guy and I just get shot a lot, so now I'm focused on headshots so I can gain face to hopefully regenerate my health. Doesn't work though, but I gain enough health back just from natural regeneration that it doesn't matter. Here again I restart just to reset Johnny's position so that he's a lot faster, or he's a lot closer to me when I can move. Because the thing with motorcycles is that Wave loses a lot of time to starting up animation, putting on a helmet, all that. I shoot Johnny the Ratface to make sure he slows down and then get the fast hijack, which does save time.
Who are you? What do you want?
Friend of mine wants to
It saves
serve
time
some
if you can
noodles.
drive good, which I don't know how good my driving is here.
Yeah?
I don't think it's great enough to save a good amount of time, but
Tell me their name, so we can go see them right now. Look, what are the odds they're gonna even admit they even know you?
Fuck you, I'm not gonna tell you nothing!
You don't have to. Someone else will ask the question.
Well, fuck him too!
yes, fuck him. That's who will be asking the questions. When it goes on like a really strange rampage where he just takes all the heads of whoever like betrayed Winston or whatever and just gives them to Winston's mother so that she can make them into food and then feed them to each other. It's just weird. The implication here is that Johnny the Ratface is now dead and made into soup. And we gold split, minute 37. And now you'll notice on the minimap, we are right next to the mission where we need to go. Just down this alley. And that's why you do Mrs. Chu's Revenge first. Now as for Meet the New Boss, this one's just a lot of... This one's the first truly difficult mid to end game shooting section. There's a lot of these. And I should have died here, I won't lie. But I don't think I do. With accuracy, if you're not moving your mouse, then you have perfect accuracy. Otherwise, you have to vault to get that same perfect accuracy. Just take it slow. Don't die. Here, I reload in front of them and don't die for some reason. Honestly, I should have died there, and I didn't. I deserved to die there, but I'm alive. So, Vault of this car, 4 headshots. Move out of slow-mo just for faster overworld movement shooting. 2 headshots there, tire shot there, tire shot there. And get ready to do another trick. And you get to see a car just sort of slingshot across the world. Basically, if you mash the button to get out of the car, and then go into the passenger seat, Jackie will scoot over, and you can actually drive to your objective. Another case of this game just really being able to go, hey, you're supposed to drive here, but you don't know that yet until you're a speedrunner. And I like that. It's minor sequence breaks, not major. And I don't even have to fire my gun for this. That's how incompetent the AI is at actually taking me out here. They don't understand the direction I'm going. I just let them shoot me as much as they want. Somehow, that guy had a popped tire. Which is weird because I'm not shooting, and Jackie isn't shooting. Which means that I'm pretty sure an enemy shot a friendly tire. Which I didn't even know you can do that. Anyway, now we chase Ponytail. There's a very finite amount of like scripted sections here. There's like chase, shoot, sneak, drive. Your typical GTA stuff. I grab a tire iron out of that car because it's going to be a lot faster to beat the shit out of Ponytail when you have a weapon. And generally, you're going to want to always sneak a weapon into any fight that you can. It's almost always faster, especially when you have a boss. Or a pseudo-boss, if you want to call it that, mini-boss.
Move! Move!
And finally, we get to the fight. The way you're supposed to do this is 2 heavy attacks, throw it, but for some reason the throw doesn't connect even though quite clearly did. So Ponytail decides to throw me, and then does QTE that I wasn't expecting. So you know, a great time loss there.
Tell your boss.
A reminder that I wouldn't have lost time there if the weapon had connected, but it didn't because, I don't know, I imagine I threw it while Ponytail was mid-animation, so I decided, nah, he can't be attacked now. Similar to how you can't grapple through an animation.
Get in! What the hell?
Now, because you've entered a limo, the police go, oh shit, he must be royalty, let's just stop chasing him.
Just save your life. Miss Jang? Broken Nose Jang? My apologies, Madame Red Pole.
Now, how Wei knows about Broken Nose Jang, like, through just being Triad makes no sense. It would make sense because he's an undercover cop, so he has to know all the criminals. But no one ever told him about, like, the different rankings of the Triad. Now Jackie texts us someone's bullying Jackie, so we have to go kill some people. Basically, if you're ever within Wei Shen's warpath, just sign over your will. Because you're gonna die. Or, you know, just get an elbow to the chest and that'll count as a death too. Decent luck with taxis, and he just drives straight on to the point. Now the plot for this is Jackie did a thing where he sells more jewelry, but he got paid in a motorcycle when he wanted cash, so now we get to go beat up Naz, because that's who it was. And Naz is like, I know you're an undercover cop, and Wei's like, I know you're a snitch. So it's a fight to the death, and very silly things happen.
You gonna let me in?
All right, come on in.
Again, Wei's 10 charisma there showing off. This bike actually has really good handling. Another example of just, you know, the game not letting you really drive fast cars that often. But it feels nice when they do. So now we're gonna see an armored van hit some pretty legendary speeds. Watch this. Yep, 100% realistic. Absolutely. Makes complete sense. He has some nitrous boosters, some jet engines in the back there. Makes sense.
That's it, asshole. Come on, fuckers!
And for some reason that cutscene is not skippable. I don't know why. Yeah, because now we're shooting again, back to keyboard controls. And with keyboard controls, I always forget the button to get in a car and to put in trunk. I always think it's E when it's F, and I always think it's F when it's E. I play it safe here, vault over the car, get some headshots. That bad accuracy really showing off.
Shut up!
And now because someone shot the tires of the 18K that was quite clearly not me, because I wasn't firing, means I only have to shoot out one tire.
Inspector, I have one of your informants in the trunk of my car.
What?
Yeah, he needs to disappear right now. So either you make him disappear or I will.
Bring him over.
The game does know how to do humor in, like, almost borderline unintentional ways. Sway goes, I have one of your informants in the trunk of my car. Just goes, wait, what? Wait, what are you doing? I like this game. Now you're gonna notice we do lose some time. A completely acceptable amount. The fact that we're even ahead right now is amazing. And now it's time to take out a bit more trash in the triad. Starting with, or ending with, Dog Eyes. Well, it sort of starts and ends. I guess Dog Eyes is one of the bigger names that we take out. And instead of taking a taxi here, I take the Tuno to the mission start, just so that I can conserve it later on when we're driving to where we need to go for Dog Eyes. I forget what Mrs. Chu says. I think she's just very sad and wants us to kill people for her. And we're just like, ah, your son died. I guess that's fair. I remember seeing like an infographic of some like movie action hero and how like... No, it was Genghis Khan, that's it. Like how the sheer amount of people that Genghis Khan killed like improved the environment back in the day. Just because like... I don't remember the statistic. Editing me. Throw the stuff on the screen. Thank you. But yeah, that's sort of what I imagine is going on with Wei Shen as well. He's just killing so many people that he's improving the environment. And again, once you've gotten to this point, grab a tire iron because it's slightly faster. It's not faster if you mess it up like I did, but it is faster if you're faster than me.
Stop messing around.
Now we go from casual conversation to boat chase. And Dog Guy starts hurling insults at us. Mimi is Wei's sister, for the record, if you don't know the plot.
Anything happens to me, Big Smiley is going to send Tom to ask questions. You got it, Wei? Huh?
He also keeps doing this thing where he just ends any sentence with that noise he makes. The noise where you want to make sure that someone understands what you're saying, but he just says it all the time.
Down to the docks. I'm gonna need a pickup now.
Got it. On my way.
That's kind of non-specific. We don't know where exactly Duke is going to be, but yet he's always exactly where is most convenient for Wei combat-wise.
You don't know what you're messing with, shit, huh?
I actually do know I'm messing with a fucking idiot wearing a fedora. And this is where we use the tire iron. Boom. And now we start the insta-kills. Beautiful, beautiful insta-kills. And this is most melee combat now. They just don't understand. And again, Wei goes by the rule of, well, I've killed someone already, let's just go for the most brutal deaths possible. And that guy drops a knife, which we're going to use on Dog Eyes, but we need to sort of carry it between fights and make sure no one uses it on us. Now here, I have to pay very close attention to my face meter. Ideally, we're going to want to keep it as high as possible without actually triggering it. Which basically just means one environmental, and that's it. The next environmental will set it off. Which is good, that's what we need. This guy has picked up our knife. Nope. My knife. You'll notice my controller unplugged there for a second. Your computer didn't make that noise, that was me. And that scared me for a second. I don't know why my controller does that sometimes, but it does have issues with disconnecting. Which, when you speedrun, especially a game this long, that's not a good thing. But yeah, once we have face meter, you're able to grapple the grapplers, and then environmental them. And here I almost messed this up. I attempted to do a counter, and luckily, because I'm just close enough to the dumpster there, the big old meat dumpster, I'm just barely able to throw him in there. Dog Eyes next. 2 heavy attacks. Again, fucked up the throw. I don't know why this keeps happening to me. But we can counter into a stomp, and that should be good enough. Yep.
Listen, you're gonna regret this.
Am I now?
Wait up! The car's over
And
here.
Duke is just conveniently right here, right where we need him. He didn't know where we were coming from, or like anything of what we needed.
Where are we going?
For all we know, the car you would have gotten would have had a full trunk. But no, because it's a video game, it doesn't matter.
What's going on?
We're bringing him to Mrs. Chu. She has something she wants to tell him.
Mrs. Chu, all right. We could take care of this ourselves.
Believe me, I'm tempted. But you and me handle this, and it'll happen fast.
Yes, because God knows we don't want to go fast in a speed run.
You're the boss, Wei.
Now we get to another shooting section where everyone in Hong Kong has guns all of a sudden. And Duke decided to drive like an awful driver here. Just keeps hitting things. People get in his way. So I end up taking a lot of damage time. I have to play this section a lot safer with tire shots instead of shooting the drivers. Tire shots slow you down because you want to avoid slow-mo almost always.
Coming up fast. No.
Bikers are also really irritating to shoot because you'll never be... if you have your cursor over them, it'll never work. Like, never. You have to sort of lead your bullets to where the gun actually is instead of where the crosshair is. That's the word. There is actually sort of bullet travel, kind of. I feel like it's pseudo-bullet travel, where it doesn't go where you point, but it also doesn't have travel time. It's just kind of a laser. A very, very inaccurate laser. Pretty explosion. It took me a while to even realize that was an enemy. But yeah, black smoke equals do not get shot. That means play it safe. Even if you lose time.
Some good driving there.
Thanks, and we are past the 2-hour mark. Come here, you fuck.
What the fuck you doing, huh?
And then it's implied that Dog Eyes then eats a soup made of Johnny the Rat Face. And then he's made into soup himself. Because Mrs. Chu is, you know, the world's greatest mother, of course. Wei gets some more sleep stress to imply, oh no, he's losing his sanity and everything's bad. He's still dressed like Winston.
Why don't you date a man with a good job? Like a banker. Men like that.
Initiation. Initiation is an interesting split, I think. This one's really just dependent on Jackie not being stupid and combat going good, which I think both of these things happen. We also get really good taxi spawns here. That's about as good as I can ask for besides it just straight up stopping in front of me.
Tradition calls for us to select a temporary...
And we get yet another taxi we get to drive.
Jackie, it's Wei. Where are you?
Getting a massage, man. Let me tell you, the girls here are...
Listen, I got some news. I'm on my way over. We got an errand to run. See you in a few minutes.
Meet Jackie at the massage sauna. I think a lot of the time I save here is just not driving like an idiot and smashing into things, going slow when I need to go slow. That was just way of being stupid and deciding, oh yeah, I totally want to just, you know, jump up on that railing instead of just walking around it like a sensible person.
I don't appreciate it. I know it wouldn't have been possible without you.
No problem, Jackie.
Man, you want to get a massage before we go? My treat. Come on.
No massage, but we are going to get into Jackie's car, which, fun fact, has a special coat of paint that is not seen anywhere else in the game, where it changes color for no reason.
It's part of our initiation.
Yeah, I
Shit. You almost went up
I
on
don't
his way.
know.
Up in old prosperity, just like you and me.
Well, he's been dealing to kids. They ordered him to stop a couple of times.
Okay.
It's also a sensible reaction. This drug dealer's been dealing to kids. Okay. That's life. I don't care.
Son on ye, brothers.
Yeah.
What? I went out with you,
I positioned my car a little specifically here, mainly to get the tire iron out of the back, and to make sure that the passenger door is facing somewhere Jackie can get to it kind of easily without anything messing him up.
Where's Yo?
And that was a 2-for-1 throw. That almost never happens. That's almost unheard of, and is very rarely seen in any kind of combat there. So you can, for the record, actually ricochet throwable weapons, but it never happens. Again, I just get really, really solid combat here. Even though Definitive Edition doesn't allow for you to do vault kills off tables, at least the tables in this area, I get some beautiful combat here that could easily rival the original version. I also do a little trick there where if an enemy is blocking, sometimes you can grapple them just to do more punches, throw them to the ground, and then stomp, grapple them again, repeat.
Shit, wait, I've never done that before.
I know.
And then Jackie actually behaves like a sensible person and gets in the car instead of just like what he would usually do, which is just glitch around the car and not understand how to get inside it.
Like that, I always thought about how it looked. I didn't know how it made me feel, you know?
So for the record, because I skipped the cutscene, Jackie just shot someone, and it was technically a childhood friend of his, but he was threatening to kill Wei, so, you know, he's having conflicting emotions. And then some more interesting writing where Jackie develops as a character. However, my combat, my driving, and everything was so perfect here that we are almost 3 minutes ahead. And that's as good as this run will ever do because it is just downhill from here, sadly, if you've gotten this far into the run. Which if you have, thank you. I did not expect anyone to watch this video for this long. Considering the amount of effort I put into this.
Open your eyes, Raymond. I am Winston now. That's what worries me, Way. You're one of them.
The game doesn't really know how to do transitions that well, so it's always just, oh, Wei has a nightmare because stress. He also just randomly gets properties for some reason. I don't know who's giving him these properties, but he just gets them. Or he just wakes up in random beds and is just like, yeah, this'll work. Get the Tuno. Be very careful with how you call someone, because if you just spam A, you're not going to call Jack. The only instance of the game where you have to be careful with how you operate the phone.
You were talking about?
Yeah. You in? We can go tonight. Drop by my place and I'll tell you all about it. Oh, bring a car, okay? Mine's in the shop.
His car is in the shop because that fancy paint of his that changes colors decided to stop working. So he's just going to take our car.
Hey, Jackie.
Let's head to Kennedy Town. I'll explain on the way.
So what's the plan?
We're going down to the shipyard. 18K are bringing in a big shipment of jewelry. Goods from a big heist they pulled in the States. I guess they'll figure it'll be easier to sell here. I hear it's good stuff. Diamonds, rubies, could be a good payday.
Yeah, it could be.
I think that's just all of what Jackie does for the triads is just steal jewelry.
Maybe you should take a few days off. You don't look so good.
I haven't been sleeping too well. Oh, shit!
Well, Scene now Wei can relate to Jackie because he hasn't been sleeping well, and I don't sleep well.
Every time I close my eyes, I see that guy. Nah, just wait till it gets darker. Here, put this on. Yeah. Hey, wait. You ever think about what you're going to do after this?
After what?
All this. I mean, we're not exactly cut out for anything else, right?
Well, see, Jackie, that's the thing with a triad, is that once you're in it, you're kinda in it for life. There's no getting out of it unless you die. I just dropped something. Yeah, who cares?
I'll scout the containers. Meet me there when you have something to cut the lock.
Do another hover kick off this into a roll, and instead of fast talking through guards and being like, oh, I'm a worker too, I'm allowed here, we just steal a car, the alarm goes off and no one cares. Inconspicuous. Right here, I have to be kind of careful with how I approach this guy. If I drive too far forward, it'll just blow my cover.
Who are you? Hey, keep your voice.
There, I actually stall pressing the Y button just so that Wei doesn't end up going through an extra sort of animation where he's trying to convince or intimidate the guy, which does save time. If you just spam Y, he'll go through a stupider animation. Kind of slow lockpicking, but that's okay. Grab the saw, back to the car, and now we're going to meet up with Jackie. And now they want you to get out of the car, which is why they stop you. But it is easier to just start ramming people. I do go for the saw instead. Because, again, I was just refreshing my knowledge of how to speedrun this. First truck you search will never have the jewels in it.
Shit, Jackie, you sure they're here?
Now some people are just going to spawn like video game bad guys.
Go get them, Wei. Fuck them.
Like, really, what just happened there was such a video game thing to happen. It's just like, oh no, a door opens, people come out of it, and they're gonna beat you up. But I just do really bad on the combat here. Like I said, it's downhill from here. I won't be faster than this throughout the entire run. Yeah, it must be the next one, right? This is completely random, by the way. The game doesn't expect you to actually have luck this bad, so they just repeat Jackie's voice line instead of making it a completely different one.
Great work, man. Fuck, fuck, fuck!
And then they've stolen a truck, Jackie fell into it, oh no, now we have to chase them. I restart just to skip the animation of getting on there and to make sure that the truck is closer to me, just like with Johnny the Ratface. Now I have a theory that the actual hitbox for hijacking this is the equivalent of a sedan, even though it looks like a truck. Let's watch this. Notice how Wei kind of clips inside of it? Sometimes he can jump straight through it and never actually end up on the truck. For some reason, I don't know why, and the only thing I can think of is that they didn't program a hitbox correctly for that.
Jackie!
Jackie, oh no, are you okay?
The usual place. Fat Wallet Lamb Shop. Let's go.
We're just gonna steal someone's car, because I think that's seriously what the game implies that it wants us to do, because that van breaks down, and there's no car anywhere nearby.
Always come back to you. Hey, thanks, Way. Wouldn't be here without you, man. No way. I'll always appreciate it.
I should be doing a better job getting you back.
It's not your fault, Way. You know,
And you'll notice on the right-hand side there, we're slowly losing time.
not our friendship. Bad things that have happened, they're my responsibility. I know that. Shit. It's okay, Way. You don't gotta say anything. We're friends, man. Friends.
Really, a lot of this is just from the bad combat and the bad luck.
Do it. Follow me.
But we're still over 2 minutes ahead, which is perfectly acceptable for this.
Don't move. You're under arrest.
Alright, last stretch of commentary. Well, not really last stretch, I still have over an hour to go, but I've gotten through a bulk of it. Now, the biggest time loss here is not being able to find a taxi, but luck be definitive edition, taxi right in front of us. Now, intensive care is a really, again, another really interesting split, and I think a lot of the splits are interesting in this game. Just because it's a very dynamic game to run, as I already said. Nothing more I can say on the topic. It's mainly just, for this, it's how good's your shooting, and are you going to get lucky with driving? I forgot to skip the cutscene early there. It's alright, though. I like looking at Wei being angry with his watch. I almost want to use that for my thumbnail. I might. I'll see what I can do. You have to be kind of careful driving around this area because it's right next to a police station, so, you know, don't go plowing through a crowd of civilians. Again, I feel like my driving is decently on point for a lot of these sections. There's no, like, truly major mess-ups until the funeral. Spoilers, I guess.
Where the fuck is
Where's Uncle Po? Oh no.
Who's that asshole?
Do a disarm. And now you're going to see, in full showcase here, the awful accuracy that happens when you don't go for the cop upgrades. And this is just all of my regrets in the run. Miss, hit. Almost all of those, none of those were headshots, and almost all of them hit the civilian he was using as a body shield. Miss. Yeah, fucking, I hate this part. I hate everything I did for this part. You know what the real kicker is? I don't even live through this. For some reason, that doesn't disarm. And I get killed in slow-mo, which usually doesn't actually happen. So yeah, at this point now I'm just upset. I take it a little slower, go for the headshots when I can, but it's obvious I have some inaccuracy problems because I don't have the correct upgrades. And that wasn't a disarm either. For some reason, I don't know if it's the items around, or the cover around this area, or it's simply just bad luck, but I had so many issues actually getting the game to do a disarm, a vault disarm. And fun fact, if you shoot the blood packs on the wall, they actually spurt out blood. They should have added elevator music. Every game needs elevator music. For this section, it is just how fast can you kill. And I do an okay job, but again, I will forever be kicking myself for not getting the accuracy upgrades. You don't have to kill those guys, you can just trigger this area early. And now it's how fast can you hack and shoot, all of that. There's nothing to say, I can really just let the gameplay talk for itself. You might notice in the bottom right, I do hack with a controller. I don't use the keyboard, and I couldn't tell you why, it's just what I'm more comfortable with. I'm doing embarrassingly bad for this. It's mainly just like, it's an issue of getting flustered. When you do good, you do really good, but when you do bad, well, stuff like this happens. Like Wei refusing to shoot because he's trying to use a plant as cover.
Give me a hand.
The way accuracy is calculated, I think, is if you are mid-vault, you have perfect accuracy, or at least as perfect as the weapon will allow you to have. However, if you're on the move, your accuracy can get really bad. How are my audio levels? Am I too heavy on one side? No, I'm fine. Alright, good. Oh, I'm so close. I just want this video to be over with. I hope it doesn't show in my commentary, though. I enjoy running this game to an extent. I'm horribly embarrassed with this run, though. I don't think it deserves to get world record.
It's clear. Come on.
Now that we're done with the shooting section, we have to go through the driving section. And there's a massive difference between Definitive Edition and regular version with this. In Definitive Edition, at heat level 4, the cops will try and shoot your tires. And if that happens, it's an insta-kill. You immediately fail. Meaning I have to drive a kind of specific line and ram at just the right time to make sure that they can't aim at my tires. And you might notice that in my movement. And here I almost mess up. You have to do a jump to have it so that like the cops go, oh, where did you go? Because you did a fancy, a fancy jump. And I just barely escape them here.
I think we're clear now. I'm glad you showed up, Wei.
I'll drop you here. Cops might be watching the place. Hey, Ricky, keep it tight. There aren't that many decent guys left in this gang.
All right, see you, bye.
And despite my awful shooting, we are still on decent pace, still 2 minutes ahead. And now we're going to get to my worst split, my most hated split. This is going to be a little controversial for the video, but I'm not recording over this one. This is one of the most boring splits, and I just don't have anything to say. So, again, top left, you have your time that you can skip to. There's nothing to say about this split. I hate it. That's it.
Well, look who decided to join us.
Hey, I think we'll start at the K-Bar. The VIP room should give us what we need.
Hey, it's your town, man.
So you producing for Sonny?
Yeah, just this one time. And that guy's a piece of work.
He's a fucking clown, you ask me.
I'm glad you said it first.
Buddy does good business, makes everyone a lot of money. But as far as his personality goes...
Good to know we're on the same page. Fact is, I got some other business to discuss. But I don't think my partners back in the States would want to be in bed with that guy.
What kind of business?
I got friends. Guys I grew up with. They got a real good import and retail thing going. And the they could use a good Hong Kong act. Access to that good Asian product. You feel me? It's the reason I took the producing gig, because I heard Vivian and the label had connections.
Here they are. To me.
Well then.
Good evening, gentlemen.
We'd like the VIP karaoke room?
It's right this way.
Yo, hold up. And don't tell me you and me are gonna sing to each other. I mean, I'm here for the local flavor, but not that local.
Let me find us the right kind of audience. Hey there, what's your name?
Katushka!
I'm Wei. So listen, I saw you looking at my friend and I figured you realize he's a famous American celebrity. And I just wanted to ask if you mind keeping it a secret.
Ooh, how can I say no?
Well, if you're not doing anything, maybe I can buy you silence with a drink. Want to join us?
That's very nice of you.
So you're from Russia?
Yes. How'd you guess?
Call it a hunch.
Oh, you.
You can cook squid ink, make sauce or make sauce out
I'm on a budget. What do you have for me?
Here, have a seat. I'm gonna find a few more people to join us. Hello, ladies.
Hey, Mr. VIP! Want to buy us girls a drink?
I don't know. My friend and I gonna enjoy your company?
Try us on and see what you get.
All right. Why don't you join my friend in there? I'll be in a second.
See, like I said, I make a lot of money.
You okay, miss?
Wait, poor guy, that's my girl, so why don't you fuck off?
I'm Sun On Yee, motherfucker. Now get out of here before I break every bone in...
Oh man, no, sorry, I didn't know who you were.
Guy seemed like he was getting a little pushy.
We get that a lot.
You work here?
Yes.
So, you allowed to join the customers for a drink?
Oh, that sounds nice.
By the way, I'm Wei.
I don't think I've seen you here before. I'm Ilyana.
Yeah, I usually don't come to places like this. I'm here for my friend.
Well, if you ever want to hang out at places not like this, let me know.
I'd like that. Can I call you?
Thanks. Give me a call sometime.
Damn, Wei. Who knew Hong Kong was full of such beautiful women?
Friendly too.
How do you not know Hong Kong have beautiful girls? You just had to come to the right place.
Well, I expect you girls to make sure King never makes that mistake again.
You can count on us, baby. We love American men. Don't we, Tina?
All right, Wei. Why don't you show us what you got?
Come on, Wei. Let's see those lungs.
Well, I'll show you mine if you show me yours.
Oh, wow! He looks so cool! 明白。我明你意思。我試過。
Oh yeah, bring it, baby.
佢好黑草，一味想過嗰啲人睇我，咁嗰啲男仔。You really have charisma。係咯。遲啲再傾。
The hits just keep coming. Keep it going.
Oh yeah. That was so good.
Impressive. Come on, let's bounce. You know what? You give good tourists, Wei.
it's my town, least I could do.
Yo, wait. Don't think I'll forget that, man. Come on, my people will like you, huh? You got the right feel. Shit. Too many motherfuckers think all you gotta do is jump bad and wear the right colors. Nah.
There you are. I've been waiting for you, a simple guy.
You crazy? This is icing on the fucking cake.
Bring it, ass.
That's some nasty ass shit you got going on. Remind me not to fuck with you. Alright, so listen. I'm going back to the week, so, alright? Tell my boys I got the man for them.
Alright.
They'll want to start slow. They can move as much product as you can ship. This could be huge, man. These boys got some big ideas, too. I'm talking all the legit shit their money goes into. Gotta go somewhere. You feel me? And the feds back home are really cracking down. Brothers might be looking for a little offshore stash. Yeah. And the man who set that up kept it safe. Yeah, he'd have a whole river of green to deal with.
Alright, here you go.
Now that we're done with that garbage split and we've lost almost a full minute to something, I think. I don't actually know where I lost the time. Now it's just back to hunting down a taxi, and what do you know? Some good luck. Actually, I'm pretty sure we lose time there just because I couldn't find a taxi so early on. Anyway, Fast Girls is a really cool split. I enjoy this. It's a nice refresher. Because there's just so many boring missions from like mid to near end game, like, you know, dockyard heist, initiation, important visitor, bad luck. They're uneventful. It's the Ways game of pacing for storytelling, and I see straight through it. It's not very good. But Fast Girls is a really cool split though, because it has one of the first skips I practiced. It wasn't the first skip I practiced. First skip I practiced was Black Van Takedown in the beginning, where you're driving around in a van with Jackie. And you have to take out the black van.
So what's the deal, Way? You a gangster like Ricky?
He's not a gangster, don't say that.
Let's say I'm as much of a gangster as Ricky.
Oh, that's...
And for some reason, their dialogue sort of stops there. I don't
Well, maybe I'll see if
know
I can
why,
find
because they
one
didn't make a
for you.
remark saying, "Oh, wait, what are you doing? Oh my God."
What's Ricky
Way,
doing
please,
anyways?
pull your pants
Why
up.
is he too busy?
I don't know. Something with Sonny.
But otherwise, I
Sonny?
don't know.
That guy's a creep and a perv. Sorry, Vivi.
Now we get to the actual race.
This would be great.
I'm not going to talk over
Alright,
this
Vivi and I will
until the
follow.
skip happens.
Sweet!
I love how every single race in this run has some kind of time save you can do by going off the track. But yeah, that saves a good chunk of time compared to just doing the race normally. This cop kind of follows you and he's a bit annoying, but I've never actually like, lost any real time to him. It's just very easy to just play around with. If I wanted to take him down, I could. But I enjoy watching him crash into things and fail to keep up with me. And for this, little close, but we make it. And past a certain point, you can actually lose the cops. And now it's just about following what I'm supposed to be on, which is the road below me right now. So I just look at the mini-map, hang right a little bit, just to stay on the road, then take the left turn, and beautiful.
Oh my god, my heart is...
Yeah, hard as well. Now, something stupid happens here that's never happened to me before. Again, this is one of my stupidest runs.
Oh no!
And I hate that this got world record, but it's fine. It's fine.
It'll be fine, don't worry.
So normally what I do is, to my right here, there's a bit of a overpass that you can sort of lose the cops on. However, I get stuck on top of this building that I didn't even know you could go on top of, and I think, alright, well I can't get off there, let's just restart. I'll lose some time, who cares? It's alright. Now I actually get the jump correct for the record.
The police!
I've never actually landed up there before.
Don't worry.
Never done
It'll
it.
be fine.
Except for now, I
It'll
guess.
be fine, don't worry.
Normally this ends up just being fine. Nothing eventful happens. The issue is the cops spawn up there and they don't really understand how to jump down there, especially if you do a side ram. There's an alternate strat that's a couple seconds faster where you jump off some stairs.
We lost some, thank God.
Nice
But
work,
I don't
Wei.
like it.
You're driving us home, right?
Of course. Well, unless Sandra has some other exciting plan.
Nah, I'm all excited out.
Oh, that's it, just over there.
And now a painful realization that we've lost a whole 2 minutes to just various stupid things that have happened. If you look at initiation all the way down to fast girls, yeah, we were almost 3 minutes ahead and lost almost all of it. Such is sleeping dogs. Bad luck is yet another boring split, but I do have a few things to say about it. For one, it's important that when you drive to this split, do not provoke the cops, because there are cops nearby and you don't expect it. Otherwise, there are some things I'm going to complain about, because one really stupid thing happens in this run. But for now, I'm actually going to explain how I made the load remover. Because if anyone's curious about, making a load remover for a game they run, you might be able to use this information as a bit of help. Because I don't care about what Salty Crab is saying. It's mainly just feng shui and all that fun stuff. But when I made this load remover, it was basically, you open up Cheat Engine, you hook into the game, and you search for the value 0. Then go through a loading screen, and then search for a value of 1 while you're on the loading screen. Back to 0 when you're not in a loading screen. Repeat and repeat until you find a static address, which will be marked in green. And originally I found a static address that looked promising, and until the load remover just stopped working. Then I realized that, oh, the address is wrong. So I had to scan again, go through all of that, and then I actually got it working. And it was like, oh hey, this actually removes load times now. Then I just repeated the same thing for the original version, because of course they're not going to use the same addresses, I wouldn't be that lucky. And next thing you know, I've just made a load remover for a game that really should have had it like 4 years ago. And now I own the only run that actually has load times removed. And now you see why I have the big time up there.
What are you doing here?
Delivering Two Chin's new package. You want to tell him you turned us away?
Oh, sorry, sir. Carry on.
See, the problem with that lie is, where's the package? Or why didn't the guard just say, oh, alright, well, I'll sign for it, and I'll bring it to him. There are so many things that could have gone wrong with that lie. And that makes a wood splintering noise, even though it's a metal gate.
Oh, okay, sure. You too, Salty.
Hey, you want me to kick the door down?
I mess up lockpicking there a little bit.
Hurry up, kid. I think
If Salty Crab says that line, then you've gone too slow. And you can go faster.
Man, if I were him...
Now guess what I lose time to here. Vases. I lose time to breaking these vases.
Make it seem like there's ghosts that don't...
The game says I've only smashed 3 now. Because, you see there? It's not broken according to the game. So I'm like, alright, well, I can't kick that. Fine, we'll just go for one of these. It's okay.
We're some pretty unoriginal ghosts.
and Wei just doesn't want to break it. So I just go for that one instead, which, again, refuses to be broken. At this point, I'm just getting pissed off, because Wei won't punch the goddamn vase. So I go for a different one. Again, refusing to be broken. Now, at this point, I'm paranoid that the game is just going to decide, oh no, actually, you did break like 7 vases, and decide to invalidate my entire, like, sort of bad luck run here. I was pretty slow on that minigame. I could have been a lot faster.
Set the time 4:44 and unplugging. That'll freak 'em out. 4:44.
Yeah, this could work.
Oh yeah, his phone say is fuck now.
You see, I'm worried that like that vase is going to consider itself to be broken at some point if I move too much. And Wei just decides to clip through the piano.
Old Two Chin's gonna freak. Either he think goes fucking with him, or he knows his phone isn't secure. Hey, somebody coming. We better go.
Mr. Chow, is that you? Anybody in there?
And it's a nice little detail that actually the guards don't use his gang name, they use his formal name.
Did they leave the gate open when they left?
And as any respecting guard would do, oh, is someone breaking into this house? There's a very suspicious noise and damage done in there. Well, let me point my gun inside, instead of just, you know, using the flashlight like a normal person.
You ordering food from the Golden Koi soon? I'll be right down.
They're gone. Come on.
Gage, Two Chin loses money fast. We better hurry up.
If you're curious about seeing something weird, I intentionally like sort of pointed the camera up there so you could see that weird-ass painting that he has on his wall. Go back and pause if you want to see just some strange art.
So, why do they call you old salty crab?
Well, there was this restaurant guy who owed me money. Couldn't pay. He told me I could eat for free at his restaurant until he paid. That way, I wouldn't cut off his hand like I normally would. Salt crab was the most expensive thing on the menu. I had that. Oh shit, I think he's home. Get down.
And that's why he's known as Salty Crab. Because food. The thing is, he didn't even choose to eat that because it was like his favorite thing. He ate it because it was the most expensive thing. He just wanted to be an asshole. Now you're gonna notice on the right again, we're losing more time because vases.
Nice work, kid. You got your salty style. I comes in. See you later, kid.
Old salty style.
And we're now only 11 seconds ahead. And this is why I hated this run. I redeemed myself later, but this is just... it's embarrassing.
Hello. Wait. Miss Chang. How are you?
Uncle Po. He's dead.
He's dead.
We're making arrangements for the funeral.
Things could get,
complicated. Yes. I'll be in touch.
Of course. Whatever you need.
And of course, more lucky taxi spawns. And another sort of semi-boring split. Again, late game is filled with these. I hate it. I hate it. That's why I don't like running this game. The beginning and the end are very cool, like, skill-based splits. All of these are now just... don't mess up. If you mess up, you lose time.
Excuse me, sir. I don't think I've seen you before.
I'm a location scout. Could you let me have a look around?
Only residents and their guests are allowed, sir.
I'll be quick. I'll make it worth your while.
No, it's not gonna happen, sir. You have to leave the premises, sir.
I think one thing I actually like about this game and how it's sort of made and how it's written is ways like fast talking doesn't always work. And I like that. It's not, he doesn't appear to be some like super ultra charismatic person who can always bend the will of anyone he wants. It sometimes just doesn't work. Get stuck on some wood. At this point, again, I'm looking at the time, I'm thinking, okay, well, this just sort of, this devolved into just a normal playthrough. Let's just crank up the focus and go for world record, go for a speed run. And from here on out, I'm going to end up gaining time back. Intentionally don't do massive jumps off of this because it'll trigger slow-mo, and then Whale do the like long knockdown animation. Random painting of a woman on the wall. And that was a pretty good hacking section. It could have been better, but it could have been worse. Again, unscrew with the sticks, and then use the mouse to try and find the frequency.
How you holding up?
Shit! I don't want to get arrested. That could be really bad.
We have to send him a message. I don't know what his problem is, but I don't have to worry about it.
Did he know who you were?
You look beyond beautiful.
Yeah, you should have seen him. We should get out of here soon.
Plant a camera in the bedroom.
I'm doing a tour, but it'll be done in August.
Yeah.
Hey, Sonny. I guess you know what you're doing. Do you hear that? Nah, everything went great. Yeah. Oh, and now that you mention it, maybe I should check up on her.
Andrew, there you are.
And we save a whole 0.01 seconds. Now we know the run's for real. And I apologize for sort of how boring that one was. The funeral is definitely a more interesting split.
Big Smiley will take over. It'll be even worse than it was on the boat.
Shen, you're making a mistake.
Fuck your orders. Fuck you too, Pedro.
He got angry at Pendrew because stress. And now he's a rogue cop that's also undercover and is basically just a gangster now.
Wait. What do you want? Your friend Jackie.
He's agreed he'll be walking out of jail in a few minutes. Just thought you might want to be there to pick him up.
Thanks.
Don't mention it.
Again, Raymond's being one of the cool people who's actually a cop. Even though, you know, he starts out not liking Wei and then starts to understand after the funeral he's kind of messed up. Maybe I shouldn't be such a dick to Wei. We grabbed the Tuno because it is faster to use car storage to just keep having this car instead of just trying to take a taxi, steal that near a police station, and then cops happen. It's tricky.
Let's go.
Wei, I won't ask why my prison sentence was randomly cut short. I seriously hope that car did not get picked up in the background.
Hey, so what's the deal with that cop? The lady.
Said she wanted to help me turn my life around.
Ah!
That pork bun guy really just likes following us around.
These are the latest. Perfect for you. Elegant, but not too flashy.
Then we bump into every single person we possibly can there.
Sucks that I have to get it for Uncle Coach.
Now for a little bit of context, I'll let the characters talk in a second, but for context, my split for the funeral that was previously world record was awful, absolutely awful. So this is the biggest possible time save I can do at this point.
Used to be, I think that was cool. Now, I'm not so sure. One thing about pussy, gives you too much time to think.
Yeah?
I don't know about this life anymore, you know? I mean, it's not like I'm cut out to do anything else, but sitting there, shit. Now we're going to a funeral. What's the future in this shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Been thinking about that myself lately.
Might be time for me to make a change. Maybe go into business with Jill May.
Right, you ready to witness some bullshit? Watch this.
Maybe all that time. Wait, hello? You need to focus, man.
So, alright, I have to explain how the physics engine just did what it did. Basically, you see how there's like a very small curb in front of me? Well, the suspension of this car is so low that when I hit the ground, it sunk into the ground a little bit, and because I still kept my speed from when I was on the highway, I decided, well, you've hit a wall, you've gone too fast, we're just going to shoot you out of the car. So at this point, now I'm thinking, well, alright, just crank it into maximum overdrive, we need to do this split fast, it's our only hope at saving time. And this is a scene where they're like, oh, Pendrew's working with the 18K, now they're going to try and kill us. And would you believe playing it safe gets me killed? Even though I land my headshots, this part is so difficult in health management, in face management, and all of that, that it's very possible to die no matter what. Unless you are constantly moving in and out of slow-mo, because I went from full health to nothing there while regenerating. Well, that's the only death we have here. And now I decide, screw it, if I'm going to lose the run here, I may as well just try and go for more aggressive strats.
Stay here, I'm gonna flank them down.
Jump up here, take out the grenade launcher guy before we can even get a shot off. Normally you're supposed to like sneak around and it's like, oh, sneak kill. Who cares? Again, I just keep going for the aggressive strats, just skip the enemies if I can. Run right past them. Parking lot's a bit tricky because you have to kill all of these enemies within a certain time limit, or else you're going to miss the tire shot from the parking lot. The enemies don't really like to move naturally. And I almost missed the tire shot there. Oh, thankfully I hit it. And tire shot number 2. And we've gained back about a minute. So in my mind I'm thinking, okay, the run is still salvageable, but there's a good chance I'm still not going to be able to complete it.
Goddamn police! Why don't you show some fucking respect?
Why don't you? And anyone who stays here deserves everything they get.
As you can see, that's way with more stress, waking up, realizing, okay, well, I have no friends, and everyone's going to die. I relate to you, Wei. So, Civil Discord is... I'm trying to remember. Right, that's the stupid, like, borderline terrorist levels of shootouts. You'll see. Go on a little quest to find the nearest taxi, and we get some good luck. And for this one, we actually don't need to steal the taxi, so he can live to ferry another day. Fastest way to just clear out a massive thing of enemies? Just steal a car. Start ramming everyone. I love combat in this game sometimes. Only sometimes, though. It's good in small, stupid doses. Bowling for 18k. It's a very satisfying section. Like, you know, you've been through a whole bunch of bullshit. Enemies sometimes don't like to die properly, and you just get to plow through so many of them here. Good throwaway, Jesus. And of course the mechanic has a gun.
Shit, they're Mrs. Chu's. Everything we got.
Who do these fucks think they are?
Big Smiley's coming after us. I guess he figures we can't vote against him if we're dead.
Big Smile, Lee?
Yeah. You want out?
No, I'm with you all the way, boss. We're with you, Wei. Just for once, I'd like to fuck... Wait, up here!
So at this point, the game's gonna start to get really ridiculous in the amount of sort of deaths and shootings that happen. By all means, if someone would like to keep track of the kill count for me, that would be amazing. Of just like, how many people Wei murders? Because this is just stupid. This is a public road that's just a massive shootouts going on here. Massive! Dozens of people dead. And the police just never get involved, or if they do, they just put up such like a petty fight that it's ridiculous. That was a very stupid tire shot. The car's just gonna glide across the road, because of course. That's what happens when I shoot a tire. Actually, I wouldn't, well, Duke, I would disagree with you. I don't think that they're crazy. I think that they are stupid. To just keep charging into gunfire over and over and over.
These guys don't give up.
Go for the tire shot in the back because it is faster than just waiting for them to get out of the car. Wasting time. Stupid shit like that. And I only noticed the free assault rifle on the ground a little late. Because this assault rifle is the second best weapon in the game. The first best would just be assault rifle with a grenade launcher. We got both tire shots. Well, we got 2 out of 3 tire shots. We got the first and the third one. And those are honestly the most important tire shots. So overall, this is a really good shooting section. No deaths, no real major shooting mess-ups. And now we get to another scripted, you can't skip past this, wait out the timer, boring section. Here's your way you can skip it.
Out of hand. It's us? What's that? We'll see. Let's go. Hey, go get in.
Run, Way, run! We're almost there.
Gotta move. Great, just fucking great.
Yeah, well, we've killed about 50 people, blown up a couple streets. How many cops come after us? 2 cop cars, and one of them goes the wrong direction. Hong Kong police, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, they're easy enough to take out. There's faster ways of dealing with them. You can also just straight up drive to the objective, but because I wasn't even expecting to get this far, much less be on world record pace, I don't even bother to practice knowing where Ricky's apartment is, or Vivian's apartment, sorry.
Where the hell is Jackie? I don't know.
But still, I go the correct direction at least.
Call him.
No answer. Before you came along, I expect him to be hiding out somewhere. Now, I don't know.
What, you think they might have gone after him?
They went for Mrs. June. Fuckers are going after everyone.
He makes a really good point, actually. Way's worried about Jackie, and yet the 18K just tried to kill like an old lady. Well, just because she made some soup out of, like, human flesh? Like, come on. It's not that bad. I'm sure it was delicious. Some pretty bad driving on my part, but this could be so much worse. So much worse. And if you'll look to the right, you'll notice we are almost done.
Listen up. You better keep a low profile for a while.
Yeah.
Alright. See you.
No time saved, but we're still a minute ahead, which is fine by me. And right there, I couldn't remember if you're supposed to go to bed or do a mission. And apparently it was do a mission. And lucky me, there's a taxi right here. Normally not that lucky. Exit the taxi, steal the taxi, be one with the taxi. Such is the life of a sleeping dog speedrunner. And Way's just going to be really stupid with jumping over a lot of these. Like, he can't go up that, but he can go up this. I don't know why.
You got a lot of nerve after that shit Pendrew pulled at the funeral.
Now there's a few things that can go right and go very wrong with the split. Mainly in taking down ZY when the motorcycle chase happens, and in a lot of the combat leading up to it's not Ponytail, that's the other guy. What was his name? I'll figure out in a minute. Either way, a mysterious text message saying, "Come here, unarmed, we have Jackie." I'm sure it's completely safe. New Shoes, that's his name.
Try anything and your friend dies.
No, it's not New Shoes, it's something. It almost feels like all of these people have like their own story and their own game. And Wei is just sort of one of the many people they'll come across.
Where's Jackie?
Yeah, this guy. What's his name? Horseface. That's it. I remember now.
Kill him! You know we're not letting you out of here!
Now this just consists of trying to get vault kills, failing, smashing some heads, doing some takedowns. Typical stuff. Typical stuff. I focus on getting the environmental kills just so I can go for the grapple against the grappler. Because you can't do a ninja kill on one of them, it just sort of clumsily decides, nah, you try to grapple him from the front. So now that he's dealt with, we can just do our nice little ninja kills. 2, 3. There's a few combos that you can do on Horseface. There's, of course, grapple to combo, stomp, pick him up, and then repeat. There's also, I believe, grapple, do a combo, knocking him to the ground, stomp, and then from behind you can do another combo. I forget which one's fastest, though.
Stop! Stop!
Where's Jackie?
I don't know! I don't know what they did with him!
What do you mean you don't know?
I was just supposed to kill you. I don't know anything about the other guy.
Who does?
DY! H&K's head enforcer!
How do I get to him?
I don't know! I only talked to him by phone.
Tell me, and I might let you live, you stupid fucker.
I only talked to him on my phone. Here, take it!
And apparently that wasn't a kill, we just sort of smash his head in. Wei decides that I tried to climb over that when I totally didn't. Meaning, yeah, you lose your fancy cop points if you're clumsy. It's just strange.
Hello?
Who the hell is this? Where's Horseface?
This is New Shoes. I work for Horseface.
I'm not talking to you. Put your boss on.
Nah.
I hope you're not afraid of ghosts.
One thing you can actually do is, when you approach that area, if you get into a faster car, get out of it, and then drive a completely different car to get torched, the faster car will actually still be outside there. And then you can use that for this chase instead, but I don't know if it actually saves time considering the amount you have to do to set it up. Now for this I get just a perfect ZY takedown here. I've never really done much faster. So we're going to restart from checkpoint to teleport across the map a little bit. Take his phone, call the saltiest of crabs, and take a little moped. And now get ready for a kind of random shooting section.
Salty, this is Wei. I need a boat and I need a gun. Can you meet me in Kennedy Town? And Salty, make it a big gun, okay? I don't want to fuck around.
When I first heard that, I thought it would be, oh, big gun. It's like, you know, we're going to use something that we've never seen before. No, he just brings you one of those machine pistols. Sadly. chuck that off there, and just do a nice little jump here. Yep, totally survivable.
Thanks. Want a traveling companion? Thanks, but this is personal.
This time it's personal. You've made Wei Shen angry. Now we head to Magazine Island, and all of a sudden, we've been driving for like, what, 3 seconds? And there's already people shooting at us. Now it's not currently known what causes the game to go, oh, you're done shooting. They go, yeah, you don't need to take out any more, they're all gone. If they get too close, it'll trigger this slow-mo, which absolutely loses time. I want to avoid that at all costs by just sort of spraying from a distance. I believe it takes half a magazine to take out a boat. I'm either thinking of half a magazine to take out a boat for the assault rifle or the machine pistol. I'm almost positive I'm thinking of the assault rifle. Sort of keep heading in the direction of Magazine Island. Behind you after every reload, try and kill whoever you can. If you do beach this boat, that fails the mission. You have to redo this entire shooting section. Go, we hit our supposed quota of people we need to kill. Now we can free Jackie, even though, you know, we were already on the island.
How'd they get you?
Man, it was Big Smile Lee, man. This guy fucking grabbed me at the fucking funeral. Tossed me off to 18K, man.
Yeah, they used you to get me to an ambush.
Big Smile Lee. Fuck is worth dog eyes, man. Fuck.
We'll get him, Jack. Come to the lecture. Tell the others what happened. That'll be the end of Lee.
Man, I don't want anything to do with any of this shit anymore. Son on Yi, broken nose, Lee. I'm done with all that, man. You dream about meeting the son on Yi, you know?
Poor Jackie. However, we gold split, surprisingly. Now we're back to being 2 minutes ahead. That's how erratic this run is. I went from 2 minutes 55 ahead to 11 seconds ahead, back to 2 minutes. And now we're going to sleep just to trigger the next mission. And we are just about at the final stretch. There's only 2 missions now, Election and Big Smile Lee. And one sort of flows into the other. A totally not suspicious text from Jackie. Well, let's go check it out. As per usual, when we spawn over here, just go to the garage, get the tuno, and find a taxi.
Hey, what can I do for you? Here you go.
And lucky us, didn't need to look for long. This part of the island does seem to be decently good with taxi spawns. I don't really recall having any bad encounters with taxis. Or with a lack of taxis. And now if you've been paying attention to the timers on the right, you're going to notice that they are horribly, horribly out of sync. And that's a good thing. That means we've saved time by removing loads. Basically, these cutscenes...
Hello, Mr. Shen. Or should I say...
Yep. Oh no, everyone knows I'm a cop. Oh no, Jackie's dead. Oh no. Whatever will I do? Then there's a whole torture scene and...
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I gotta take a piss. I'm gonna check on our boy.
I don't actually understand how he undoes the leg stuff, because it makes like a rope snapping noise, but he doesn't use anything sharp. Now you're not even going to see it. There's a prompt to do the counter button, but I kept mashing Y so fast that it didn't even get a chance to show up. I think this is one of the few times where you can actually see all of Wei's tattoos, besides like changing your clothing just to remove the shirt. Part of me wishes that this was like sort of like cheat costume where you can run around as like damaged Wei. Drown this guy in his own piss because I don't know, Wei angry roar. Now keep this in mind. He's he's been tortured for like a day or so. He's got drill holes in him, sliced up, all of that fun stuff that a Saturday night would ensue. And he's struggling to walk. And all of a sudden, he's now taken up like a Street Fighter pose. And he's just ready to kick some ass. Perfectly functioning. And now the combat's basically just what you've seen from all melee combat now. It's just roll over the enemy, do the little chest smash thing, do it to these guys too. Done. Alright. Breakthrough is totally necessary to break through a door. Now, there is a trick that you can do here, where if you do a hover kick off of here, I try to do it, as you can see by my inputs down there, but I fail, because I did it too late. It skips this QTE entirely, and there's no, like, whole, oh my god, I'm gonna fall off, oh no. Rip. Who cares who pays the rent if I'm just gonna smash your chest in. We do a vault kill there. I forgot that I'm not supposed to grapple him, so instead I just throw him to the ground and decide, yep, just keep doing this. I've also been managing my face throughout this by not going for environmentals, not doing punches or anything, and instead just going for the ninja kills. Because now, when I do this takedown, look at that face meter. The first person I shoot will trigger health regen now. And lucky us, guy right there. And now we can just barrel through this section depending on how many people we kill. Grab this pistol because it's more accurate than the shotgun. Makes for easier headshots. Grab the assault rifle. Explosions give some extra face, I think. It's supposed to be more like, how afraid is the enemy of you, considering what you've done recently. Here I restart just to make sure that any enemies behind me that I haven't killed despawn, so that I don't have to deal with them later. Memorization of where enemies spawn, and dealing with them accordingly. And also figuring out where they spawn relative to where you move. Luckily for the scaffolding people, there's always explosions for them. Vault over this, take out one guy, two guys, and disarm him. This is incredibly important. And I screw that up slightly. Disarm, so that he doesn't have a gun. Drop this gun over here by the door. That's good enough. Now I forget that I have a gun and decide I'll just take him out like this, when I could have just pulled out my gun and shot him, saved like 10 seconds. And now, when you go over to this door, you can just pick up a gun. Headshot, headshot. And the boogeyman I mentioned earlier, Mr. Tong, spawns. There's supposed to be some like massive shootout of like, or no, some massive fight where it's like, oh, I'm gonna kill you, machete, slash. We just shoot him in the head. And 1:45 ahead. Now it's just one long drive where Wei thinks about all the people who have died and betrayed him.
I'm warning you here and now. Making anyone other than me the chairman will be disastrous for Sanonji.
You are an officer of the law, same as me.
Wait, if you have a problem with me, then let's sort it out ourselves, okay? We don't need to bring her into this.
That's the attitude that makes us strong. Loyalty, discretion, used to be more common.
I'm here for Mr. Lee. I take it you've heard of Big Smile Lee.
That's what worries me, Wei. You're one of them. Wait, you crossed Andrew. He's cut you off.
Anything happens to me, you look after our people, okay?
Man, it was Big Smile Lee, man. This guy fucking grabbed me at the fucking funeral. Tossed me off the 18K, man.
You show your true colors tonight, brother.
Oh, God. I'm sorry, please. Please. No, no, no!
You must stop this fight at once. We must be...
Now pay attention to what it says here for your objectives. What you're supposed to do is it gonna show it up actually? Yeah, slaughter Big Smile Lee's thugs. Because the machete has infinite durability, but you don't need to kill any of those people. If you suppress your bloodlust for a minute, instead you can chuck the machete at this dude's head and get a free gun, which is much more effective at killing. Jump off here, do some mid-air headshots. Be incredibly careful with how you take this.
Game over.
I love how that guy just stopped centimeters away from where my gun was pointed. Now, the way I jumped out of that window is actually a bit different to how I normally do it. I believe that way skips an animation and is slightly faster and slightly safer, but I've never confirmed it. And now instead of doing the massive shootout where you kill like 30 people, it's more just get bit behind 30 people and it thinks, oh, you must have run through it. And Wei also just, you know, is incredibly attracted to that waist-high cover, so he's just gonna do his thing to it a few times. Shoot the thugs, 1 and 2, and the third one is going to have a little hostage. But who cares? Headshot, get to the restaurant.
I'm gonna kill you.
And this is just Wei going crazy. Like, past a certain point, you would think about the amount of people he's killed, but they're just seen as enemies. And the radar confused me a little bit there, and I thought, oh, he must be in front of me, but he wasn't. That's Ponytail dead.
I'm gonna kill you.
And now, we chase Big Smile Lee. Doing rolls is faster than having Wei just stumble around. Now you hear that sort of sound effect. It gets played here twice for some reason. I don't know why. Just a well-made game, I suppose. It gets a bit ridiculous after that. Anyway, jump. Yep, there it is again. Jump on the boat. And now we are at the final fight.
Yo, fuck, wait! You need all.
And this final fight is just counters and getting weak punches off when you remember to do them. And when you can, like, actually time them properly. I pressed counter too early there and get hit. Got it there.
You want more?
I feel like I pressed counter in time with that. You can check my inputs down there.
Is that all you got?
The amount of time you can save here is a bit random, but once Big Smiley's like one hit away, try and get him into this corner, and hopefully what you can do, if you get lucky, if you can position him like right around here, he'll just be considered, you know, free to kill, and there's our final time. $3:24.23 without loads, $3:25.16 with loads. And that's it. That's Sleeping Dogs done in 3 hours, 25 minutes, 16 seconds. Or, I guess if you want to be technical, 3 hours, 24 minutes, 23 seconds. I've been running this game on and off for the past few months, and this is the main game that got me into speedrunning. It's a really, really fascinating game to practice. And honestly, if it wasn't so long, I would be more than willing to improve this record further. The issue is I've run out of time to improve it. I don't have, like, time anymore to just keep running this game. So, with this is probably going to be my last personal best for quite a while. Record's sort of up for grabs now. With that, thank you for watching.